Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Chillmonger. I'm being joined today first by TJ from the YouTube channel Flash by Night.
What is going on? How are we doing?
We're doing good. We're not getting notifications like you are, though. K Dot. Huh? We're doing good. How's everything in Alabama?
It's right now it's gloomy. It's and it's kind of empty because uh my hometown team has a big game in Birmingham, so nothing's really going on here. We're just here.
All I know is Alabama Roll Tide, right?
Right.
And
But
joining us also from America, but closer to Alabama than usual. It is Brother Dot.
What's up, everybody? It's the
all
guy,
right.
very Thanos. Everything makes me mad. What's good, everybody? But no, as you guys mentioned that Chaos Sanctum, I'm just using a fake alias today to, protest my issues against the MCU as of recently, how they have disrespected the great Thanos.
You're in the wrong stream. Question number 1 of 33 burning MCU question. Is the World War Hulk report 2? If you are not aware, there's a rumor that Bruce Banner is coming back and he'll be in a film about World War Hulk. This was a comic book story that happened in 2007, where he goes to Planet Hulk, which we saw that play out during Thor Ragnarok, sort of, they adapted it. And the next step is for him to, in the comic books, was for him to have everything he established there be exploded, and now he's mad at the Avengers who sent him there, and that would be World War Hulk. You guys think these reports are true, starting with K-Dot?
It would be cool if they are true, because then they can play off the multiverse, but I hope it's not true, and I doubt it's true, because this movie does not make any sense at the current stage they're at right now. If this took place maybe around like Thor 3 and they didn't adapt Planet Hulk into this, it couldn't work. It couldn't work in general in the MCU. It can't work at all. In a multiverse MCU movie, it can work. But if they do it now, they're going to have to super heavily change it. At that point, it wouldn't be really World War Hulk. It'd be so different from what it originally is. Like, for example, Infinity War. Infinity War is different from Infinity Gauntlet, but all the main story beats is kind of still there. World War Hulk wouldn't have that because you need Planet Hulk to set this up, and they do the very loose adaptation of Planet Hulk and Thor 3. If it's true, it'll be cool to do it in the multiverse, but I'm hoping it's not true because story-wise, it wouldn't make any sense. It's just going to be Hulk regressing yet again as a character.
Flash by Night.
If it is true, I don't think it's true. If it's true, it would, in my mind, have to take a long time to develop. Because I can live. I think I can live with separating Planet Hulk from World War Hulk.
Yeah.
They're supposed to go together. But if you have a good enough inciting incident, I can live with World War Hulk not being related to Planet Hulk. But you have to give Bruce something really, really catastrophic in order to bring that out. In order for him to even regress back to the Hulk we knew in the Edward Norton movie, I think you'd have to do a whole lot to get him all the way from the Bruce we know to World Breaker Hulk. There's got that a lot of work has to go into that. I don't necessarily think it's true, but I wouldn't mind it. It just needs work.
And the next guy I'll ask is somebody who read Incredible Hulk issue 300. Jaded Fanboy.
Hi.
Is this World War Hulk report true?
I don't think it's true. It's too early to confirm nor deny that there's going to be a World War Hulk movie. And actually, you know what? I don't know who the new guy is. I know You
This
and I
is
know.
Flash by Night.
Flash by Night.
The
But
YouTube
what he
comic
said
book.
about it being that hard, I'm going. I think they could just have it that the experiment that Professor Hulk did
Mhm.
suddenly is screwing up, and now he went like they could have it that like whatever experiment he did, right, that made him go all the way intelligent. Something went wrong, and it just makes him go all the way to the opposite end.
I would like that plot. That would
Right?
fit. Like what K-Dot said earlier with his answer was just that you can't adapt it strongly. Like it would have to be a super loose adaptation, and that's true, especially when you didn't do Planet Hulk, directly as it's supposed to. So yeah.
Or maybe, or what about this? What about this? I'm glad Jada brought this up. So if we actually look at Professor Hulk from Endgame, right? If we really look at him, there's no Hulk in sight. It's Bruce Banner controlling the body.
Right.
He looks like Hulk, but Bruce Banner has full control. So you can flip it like this. Hulk wants a split. And when they split, Hulk's true dark intentions come out because he didn't like the fact that Bruce took over the body.
Savage comes out
and shut him out.
It's his turn. Hey, what about he's in Shang-Chi? It's Bruce Banner without the Hulk inside him. It's just Banner.
Right.
Maybe because there's a split. Maybe there is a world breaker. That's the world breaker right there. It won't exactly be Planet Sakaar stuff. TJ?
I like.
There's no way they're incorporating that.
They can make it work, but
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Completely separate the Hulk and somehow separate the Hulk and Bruce Banner, and just let the Hulk do what comes natural.
Yeah, just
right. I think that's not a bad way to go, and it won't take 6 or 7 years.
Free ideas.
And with that, just like even if they had Tony Stark alive or whoever's going to be the new Iron Man, the Hulkbuster suit isn't going to be enough for a full rage Hulk. So you're going to have, everybody.
That's right.
Ooh.
Let's say what's up with the live chat. It's Adnan saying assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Anybody else in the live chat? No. Please answer the questions and join in this game of 33 Burning MCU question. Question number 2 is, did Red Guardian have friends in prison? all I saw was him doing some arm wrestling. A lot of people spectated. They found him interesting, amusing. But you think a lot of people liked him? He was breaking arms here and there.
He had people that probably feared him more than was friends him, but it's those people that they're your friends out of fear, because we established he's the strongest person in the prison, so nobody can put him in check, nobody can do nothing to him. So hey, it's either you bow down or that's all you can do. You got to bow down to this guy. So they're his friends out of fear.
And those prison guards who were eating his cake and stuff, they didn't like him either.
I don't know. So he doesn't come off to me like a person who would garner or who would look for that friendship out of fear kind of thing though. Like I think he'd actually want real friends just from the way he sounded. Because once he got out, like he was seeking acceptance from the family like the whole movie. So I'm wondering if he's one of those people who would also in prison, even if he could make friends with even some of the more influential people in prison, would he seek acceptance from? I guess you don't have like minimum security prisoners there.
No,
but,
you have straight up criminals, and he's supposed to be this good guy hero that the kids look up to. You think they're gonna look fondly on this hero when they're all people who do bad things for a living and got caught? It's not happening.
That's interesting.
Jaded?
Well, there was a little bit of an issue with the prison scene because he tells the story of him fighting
Captain America in 1988.
From like a 1980s comic book story, which was incredibly meta. But according to the movie, he's been in jail for a long time. And it's like, this is the first time you told that story. So it's like, I mean, these are new prisoners. So it's like, I think he's a national hero. and people are not respecting the fact that he's a national hero. So I don't see him having friends because he's like, I'm the Red Guardian. I'm the Red Guardian. I did this to Captain America. And they're like going, yes, you did. Of course you did. I don't really see him.
And that's also the thing, the good thing Jada brings up too. Because a lot of his exploits as a Red Guardian have been covert, and his stuff been more like espionage, tactical espionage, stealth and stuff. So it wasn't really nothing in the public. Because, you know, if he was his public figure, then the Red Guardian would have been a bigger thing in the MCU throughout the years. We would have heard his name mentioned before. If he was
in Russia, though, he's a big deal for them because even the prisoners were like acknowledging he has fans and acknowledging he is a big deal.
I'm just how Captain America is known worldwide in the MCU. He would be too, since he's a super soldier.
No, let's remember the nature of his missions. In '95, he's in Ohio, and no one's supposed to know he's there. So
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying nobody wouldn't really know of his exploits like that. Even the little Russians who live in Russia, only the government would know about him. But just as Jada said, you know, he's like, but I fought Captain America in '84, and then they're like, yeah, sure you did. You fought him. Good job, buddy.
Doesn't work because like you were, you know, Captain America. It was a very meta scene. It was a very meta scene. Like you had to have read the comics to go, okay, I know what he's referring to. But at the same time, it's a joke because those people are going, what are you talking about? How could you have fought Captain America? You're making this bullshit up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because Captain America was. Oh, go ahead. Captain America was on. Okay, Captain America was on ice until 2008, correct? That's the other thing. I think he was just, something like that. But I think he was telling tales to try and impress people. I think more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he didn't understand Captain America's state up until 2009. Maybe he doesn't know that Captain America was frozen until then because he's been in prison that long, and he's just kind of using Captain America to tell stories and gain popularity. Maybe.
Yeah, because he's going, I'm the Russian version of Captain America.
Right.
But there is no Russian version. There's only one version of a Captain America.
The Red Guardian, because
Number 3, over $422 million, okay? And it's going to keep going. There was no Chinese release. Did Shang-Chi flop? Jaded?
If you take into consideration no Chinese market, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it flopped, but I wouldn't say it was a success. Because I think it had a budget of like 135 million or something. So it was a profitable. I think it did well, but it wasn't the success and considering no China market, that's a damn good box office.
Mm-hmm.
Most movies need China just to get that much.
And this was the China movie too. K-Dot?
Shang-Chi didn't flop COVID wise. It actually it beat expectations. If this was a regular year, this would have been a flop.
True.
Every MCU film now makes over 500 million. Anything below that is a flop. But going by standards of COVID, this is not a flop. This actually surpassed expectations. I think it made just as much as Godzilla versus Kong, or I think Godzilla versus Kong made slightly more. They're in the 400 million category. They're pretty close to 500. So
success.
Yeah, for COVID, success.
And Godzilla had a handicap because it was also available HBO Max, keeping box office numbers low.
But see, you want to know what helped Godzilla versus Kong? That hype. Team Kong, Team Godzilla, perfect marketing.
Yes. Kong versus Godzilla did 467 million.
Yeah. It was a rematch that we all needed.
Without China, it's not a flop, he says.
No,
without China, it's not a flop. And let me give you, before I get to TJ, let me give you perspective. I think Avengers Endgame, I think it made 800 million in China alone.
Wow.
That's just the ceiling. Obviously, we don't know if it would have reached that. I doubt it would have exceeded that, but we don't know. Fast Furious 9 this year came out. It made 700 million worldwide, but in China, it did have a release. Shout out to John Cena speaking Mandarin, but it had $200 million there. I'm just going to assume it would have also been 200 million from Shang-Chi, and this would have been a $600 million flick, at least. But it is also the Chinese film. You know that it would be more interesting to that market. I have so much good things to say about it. And Flash by Night. Let me know what you think. Is this this film a flop?
It is not a flop. In fact, the China thing is funny because it kind of shows you how dependent we've become on China as a second market, basically, which always kind of ties me up in knots because a lot of people complain about, movies, especially MCU movies, they kind of sway a little bit and kind of have Chinese influence, or are influenced by China's opinions and China's thoughts.
You remember Iron Man 3? It's filmed an additional scene so that they had these Chinese doctors who are the ones who did the surgery to remove, the iron thing.
Right. Well, so that scene wasn't originally in the cut of Iron Man 3?
No, they had an extended little bit where you can see the two doctors talking in the surgery room, and then they went to him and do his thing. In the Iron Man 3 cut we got to see, we just saw like a montage of the surgery, and it was maybe 4 seconds.
Okay, So I didn't see that extended scene then. I just saw the kind of 4 or 5 second surgery while he's kind of giving his solo moving on with life, but life is getting better kind of thing, whatever it was he said at the end when he drags his little robot on the back of his truck. But I don't think it was a flop at all. Whenever you give out money, I started using ROI, return on investment, because accounting stuff, and 3.5 times your investment looks pretty good to me.
It does. We got one person disagreeing in the comments, but other than that, everyone's on board here. Has China permanently banned all MCU films? Yeah, we don't know if they're getting another one yet. What will be the first movie to be allowed in China again? That's a good question. I'm going to save that and use that for another week.
I thought Eternals was going to be having a China release.
No, the director said something that's anti-Chinese.
Okay, that was weird.
Hey, Nate's in the building. Hello, Bosco, to you too. Question number 4. What would Cap and Bucky, two Brooklyn natives, tell Kyrie Irving? You guys basketball fans?
Nope. But I will say this. They would tell him, I can play better than you.
You know what?
They could both put them on one-on-one.
Hey, did you have an opinion on this? Well, whatever they tell him, it's going to be, son, and then he'll, do what's best for you. But I don't know.
Wait. Let me ask a real question. Like, don't just look at it from a power standpoint, but look at it from a technical standpoint. It factored all in. Do you guys think Cap and Bucky could beat Kyrie Irving in a basketball? Like
one-on-one? They could both take him on. They could both take on Kyrie.
No, just like, let's say 1-on-1. Like factoring skill, their strength and power too, and all that. But skill too.
If we're talking Falcon without the suit, then Falcon's toast. Kyrie's got Falcon. Falcon would need the suit to actually be.
Wait. Are we talking about Falcon or Captain America?
Oh, you consider Falcon Captain America?
He is. Falcon's Captain America now.
Jaden was confused.
So he's an idiot. Yeah.
What do you mean I'm an idiot? Did you not see Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier? Did you not see Falcon?
You're right. You are right. I just don't call him that. But yeah.
Did you see Falcon and Winter Soldier? Who's the new Captain America?
I got you, Jaded. I got you. But I was thinking about Steve Rogers and
and then they would both kick that. Yeah, they would both kick his ass.
But Sam has just the je ne sais quoi. Sam could compete. I would think that Kyrie Irving, I want to give him because of his experience. He spends all his life doing that, and I've never seen Steve Rogers. I'm sure he'd be good at it, and with some practice, he'd be good at it. But basketball didn't pick up. Was it even invented? It probably was invented, but there wasn't like an NBA in the 40s, so it wasn't basketball hoops at the school.
I think at the time, during their time, it was still a Canadian little thing that was just all white people.
Yeah, James Naismith. You ever watch those commercials, those Heritage Minute commercials things?
Yeah. You had no choice. You had no choice if you watched Canadian television, especially Saturday morning cartoons. You had no choice but to see those.
Hey, question number 5. Does vibranium float? Because I've never seen it in water, have I?
That's a damn good question.
We saw it in ice, like the shield was picked up by Howard Stark in ice. But ice isn't water. That's a little bit different.
Does vibranium float?
But that's like saying if they made a vibranium boat, would still.
One at a time?
Like, are you saying if they made a vibranium boat, would it float?
Yes, a boat would float.
Okay, but just because I don't think vibranium is like, because again, it's a solid metal, so I don't think it's lightweight.
They said it is.
They do,
but it seems like it seems lightweight because I'm not saying. Well, let's say Cap show because we seen Hawkeye throw it in Avengers 2. We seen Black Widow hold it with one hand while she's riding on a motorcycle and just casually throw it up to Captain America, and she has no physically enhanced strength. Yeah. So I think it would float because the metal works a little different from Earth metals and stuff. Because and it also depends if Cap throws his shield and there's nobody holding it with any force behind it, yeah, the shield is just going to just fall on the ground. It's going to knock back and not do anything. But if he's grounded and holding the shield and someone tries to hit him, they'll get pushed back by the kinetic energy.
Science.
When did vibranium have anti-gravity properties? Like, I don't remember that in the movies.
I don't remember that either, but he said it with such confidence. I'm just going to take it.
Okay.
But
it absorbs kinetic energy, but.
Question 6: Groot versus Dominic Toretto.
Oh, Groot.
I don't know, man.
Adult Groot.
Adult Groot. I don't know. Look, all right. Let me make a case for Dominic Toretto. He's going to get his Dodge Charger. It's going to have a wood chipper on it. And he's going to drive straight into Groot. Groot's going to slip into it and die. Dominic Toretto wins.
So in other words, it's not Dominic Toretto with the wood chipper versus Groot.
Yeah.
Oh,
with the force of Dominic Toretto behind it, though.
Yeah, teenage Groot could kick Dominic Toretto's ass.
But we have to forget Dominic Toretto is a very durable individual. He's OP. That man is he's his own Captain America.
I'm sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy Groot. There are very few MCU characters that could take on adult Groot.
Hey, could anyone in the MCU beat Dominic Toretto in a race? No.
Not even Captain America.
Like a car race.
Yeah, like a driving race.
Oh, yeah, you don't think Tony Stark can get a souped-up enough vehicle?
Hey, the only time we saw him in a race, his car crashed because of Ivan Vagner.
No, because in the beginning, when in the first movie, when he has to go to the airplane, Haku goes, "I almost lost you there, but I had to cross through Boulevard Lane or whatever because he was an hour late." Yeah, so he had that racing thing. Then you have him when he has, I think it was in number 2, when he has the board of the platform of the amusement park. And he's driving back, and you got him sticking out. It's when he goes to Pepper Potts and gives her the strawberries, and she goes, "I'm allergic."
Yeah.
And there's all that boards on the thing.
Okay.
Because he makes the arc reactor out of it.
Yeah, so he's got that racing thing. How about the Monte Carlo racing thing? How about that? How about the fact that he was racing in the Monte Carlo?
All right, Tony would be competitive. TJ, would Groot beat Dominic Toretto? You know, they're both acted by the same guy, Vin Diesel.
And we both know they're very powerful.
And they both have families.
No, got friends, I got family.
I think Groot would take Dominic. Yeah, Groot would take Dominic Toretto.
Question number 7 of 33 burning MCU questions. Why did Marvel recast Cassie Lang?
Who? Oh, the daughter?
Yeah, the daughter of Ant-Man. They had her, you know, a little kid, of course. We watched Endgame 5 years past, so they had to recast. But then they did it again, and they announced it at the Disney Plus thing that it's going to be someone else.
Probably. Well, they're child actors, so maybe issues with the parents and stuff. Maybe the parents like, oh, we don't want our daughter doing this. Pull her out. Maybe she's doing something else. You know, because these are child actors, so different cases. Parents could factor too, because some parents are like, nah, we don't want our child to do this.
Well, I thought in Endgame it was a little weird that in 5 years the child actor went to kind of full grown, almost 30-ish looking adult. I expected Cassie to come out as a teenager, high school, maybe college age, early college age.
She looked high
person,
school age,
but she looked a little bit older to me in Endgame, and maybe that's just me. But I assume that the person they recast in Endgame to play the older Cassie may not have been down with the kind of long-term casting that the MCU does.
Yeah, that's what Adnan just wrote in the comments. That wasn't there some scheduling issues? That's what he heard.
That's probably because if they're kind of following the way that we think that they're going, which is kind of going with younger characters in the future, then they probably want Cassie there for 6 to 9 films, and maybe this person kind of just stood in and did the job at hand, but doesn't want to like be in the universe long term.
Fanboy.
I have no idea. I couldn't even think of what the reasoning would be. I mean, I was not in the room when the executive decision was made. So
there it is. You want to have fun with this one? Jaded, are the MCU delays because of DC? Because every film has been shifted one spot over. So we're not going to get something in March. Doctor Strange is being moved to May, and likewise. And why is that? Is it because of Batman? Are we afraid of the March release date?
Well, but I don't get it because even though DC announced it during the DC whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They would have already have announced their scheduling a month, if not 2 months ago. So the theaters would have known the scheduling. Marvel would have known the scheduling. So them saying a month, maybe this, if any, actually I think about, because they'd want to space out the money. So they want people to have the DC movies, and they wouldn't want it to overlap into their profit level.
Which it would.
I'd say on that count, I would say yes, they did, just so that they could, just so that the money spending wouldn't overlap as much.
It's believable to me.
Yeah, because look, I'm not going to be buzzed and say DC's better. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying, it's weird how after Fandom, we do this. Not too long ago after Fandom. I'm not saying one will be better than the other, but it's more than likely DC. But if it does end up being COVID, but we'll have to wait and see if DC changes. But by December, they have to give us a schedule change. If they don't change their schedule by December, then it was solely just because of DC that they changed.
You introduced COVID, and that cannot be understated. It is the winter. It is a time where things peaked last year, at least locally, and like northern states as well as like New York, that market, New Jersey, Philadelphia. They did have an increase in March because that's how sicknesses work in the winter. So that could be a factor also. TJ?
I do think it's I think it's DC related, but I don't think it's as contentious as we usually do. I think that the heads of the studios and important figures in the whole process got together and they I think they basically agreed that yeah, it's not a good idea for us to have movies in the same realm. Like we don't want to kind of eat each other's profits and kind of overshadow each other or whatever. And so we'll put Batman here, Doctor Strange here, and of course doing that kind of moves everything else. Um, but that because there's no reason, even though like fans have their own competition and they basically melted Twitter with it, but the creators I think have more respect for each other, and it's kind of the same with sports. You watch sports, and all of these fans kind of fans don't like this team, don't like that team. They're all contentious, but like the GMs and the owners all know each other and know each other's kids, and
Yep.
and they're all familiar with each other. And I assume that's how this worked. Is that they got together and they're like, well, what's the best? What's the best for all of us?
I
Now,
remember that
if
round
I'm
table that they
Marvel,
had. Yeah, go ahead.
if I'm Marvel, I may say if I'm Marvel, I'm the big boy. You move, but I don't know how they decided which one is which. But I think the heads got together and decided that this is best for everybody.
Yeah, let's not ignore that. Plus, it's Batman, so no, Marvel is not the big boy. Question number
Right.
9.
Yeah,
Well,
it was, what you guys saying that when BBS was announced?
What did they do with BVS? They had Captain America and Iron Man.
No,
Not
but
Doctor
when
Strange.
BBS was announced, that was supposed to be the big boy.
Yeah. How did that work out?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
When did King T'Chaka retire as the Black Panther? It looks like T'Challa is already BP in the 2016 film Civil War. How long was he Panther for? I'm gonna go ahead and say
How you got
Easy
that.
answer. I got you.
okay, that.
Whenever he put on that much weight to where he cannot fit in that suit no more. Because we have to factor in that gut. He cannot fit in that suit no more. It was whenever he got that gut and got out of shape is when he said, son, I can't do it no more. Put on the suit and act like Panther and I'll be king.
Yeah,
I
probably
know.
was. And I'm gonna
I
go ahead
would-
and say that it was on the date. You guys know how like in 2010, the week that Thor's hammer hits is the same week that Captain America comes out of ice, or 2011 and 28, one of those years. That's probably the same time Black Panther became the Black Panther.
Yeah. Because you also have to factor in too, even when that happened and stuff, because King T'Chaka technically broke. Well, they didn't break. He's the king. He can do whatever he wants.
Mhm.
But they broke the rules because it was seen in Black Panther. There's it going off the rules in the movie. They're supposed you get the suit, you become the Black Panther and the king. You get both. In the comics may work different. Each is separate. But in the films, you get both. So King T'Chaka definitely bended some rules to make his son Black Panther earlier than he was supposed to.
Next.
See, I never really saw it that way because I always thought that the Black Panther, because technically I always viewed it that King T'Chaka was still the Black Panther, but it was a symbolic system because there was never if we had known that there was a reason for him to be Black Panther, like if they had mentioned how he was going after Claw before, how they were trying to recover the vibranium, there wasn't really any mention of that. So I always viewed King T'Chaka as the Black Panther until he died. He didn't put on the suit and go around anywhere. Just that nobody had the suit because nobody was supposed to officially be the Black Panther because they didn't need him in the movies. So to me, King T'Chaka retired as the Black Panther. When
So you think the border tribe just let that slide? You think that the mountain tribe was just like, we're fine with this? Actually, yeah, it might be. The mountain tribe was only mad because of Shuri was, making the technological advancements.
That's right. So, like none of the other tribes, because if that was the case, why wouldn't any of the other tribes have fought King T'Chaka for the title? And then why did they have to wait until King T'Chaka died and then Black Panther gained the title? Why did they have to wait for that? So to me, King T'Chaka was symbolically Black Panther until he died.
Good answer.
I can't prove it, but that's how
we're taking it.
But we come to find out he is a liar. To his brother.
Well, but so if there are some underground secrets here, and part of me thinks that King T'Chaka secretly made T'Challa Black Panther as some kind of consequence for killing Killmonger's father. I think that because in order for them to make that transfer and for him to receive the power and go through the process, the uncle whose name I forget also had to be. Isn't that his name?
Jobu, whatever.
No, Zuri. Not Shuri, but
Zuri was the spy. Zuri. Forrest Whitaker's character.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to. So Forrest Whitaker's character had to be there to make the transfer. From what we see in the movie, and he's the only person that knows that T'Chaka killed Killmonger's father. So I'm wondering if to get from under that pressure for some reason, that's when the transfer happened. He's like you murdered somebody. You can't stay king after you murdered somebody. You have to give this off at some time. That's just what I'm wondering. Because like I said, to pass the torch, it's not just those two in the room together. Like there are other elements in order to pass the mantle and power of Black Panther.
Though I feel like that murder was pretty justified. I wouldn't call it murder. It was like a guy who sold out his country.
Well, if you look at how fast he moved, he moved fast enough to grab the hand that has the gun. He could have done anything else besides bury his claws into all the way into the father's spine. He could have done anything else, but he moved fast and he made the kill.
Yeah. I do agree that he didn't have to kill him, but he could have subdued him without killing him.
Yeah, even stormtroopers
switch
their.
I don't think he had to kill him, but then it may be one of those things. I don't know where if I leave you alive, you're going to be a problem for a while. So I don't know, but I do believe that may have been some contention.
But would the Wakandans even be against it? Because we've seen a lot of them don't like seeing colonizers come in. Pretty much everyone there is pretty much like, this is Wakanda. You need to respect the even Shuri, even though she kind of breaks the rules at times and doesn't act like a Wakandan. Sometimes she let American culture get into her. She's still like, this is Wakanda. Like, you do not disrespect the culture. And I think even someone like the brother,
you can have a Starbucks.
Right. And I think even the uncle breaking rules in Wakanda, majority of them would have been against it. So I think maybe King T'Chaka would have had more supporters than people against him. T'Challa was just that one weird, different kid that's like, all that hipster stuff, like, we gotta make the world a better place and all that junk. He's just that one outlier.
Because even in the throne room, you have all the various tribal leaders that had to dictate what was going on. Because when Killmonger shows up, you have
none of them knew that T'Chaka was technically a murderer. Yeah. So if they were all aboard with T'Chaka killing his father, I think they would have all told him to get out. We don't care what kind of ring you're wearing. So there's some contention there, I think, with the idea once it comes out of you killed. Go ahead. Good.
Yeah, even Killmonger had to was trying more to convince the tribal leaders than he was trying to convince T'Challa. Even when T'Challa wanted to refuse, he went, okay, fine, I'll just explain it to the tribal leaders, and they went, and the tribal leaders went, yeah, you have to fight him. So there's the king, but then he has to respect the tribal leaders as well. So it's like a balance.
Okay. Question 10. Did any S.H.I.E.L.D. agents notice that man is playing Galaga? Thought he would notice, but he did.
They knew. Just like in my job.
Wouldn't the guy beside him have noticed?
Right.
Hey, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, they're not no snitches. We know that in Winter Soldier.
Noticed.
In Winter Soldier, we saw a whole bunch of free-thinking S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Some of them lost their lives to face Hydra. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in Hydra are too busy being Hydra to worry about that guy playing Galaga. They all noticed it, and no one said a word.
Okay, yeah, but they did notice him.
Well,
TJ says no.
Tony noted. Tony called it out. But
Tony just called
and he
it
went
out.
back. He went back to playing because he didn't care. He's like, "Oh yeah, Tony's gone. Tony's gonna care."
Yes. Because nobody cares. Nobody's snitching.
This is the thing. It's not even that they're snitching. I think it's just the work environment is just super lenient compared to others. Like if it was my job, oh yeah, they can monitor what I'm doing.
It would have been worth
they choose to. They can choose to see what I'm doing on my computer activity. But I think the same is Shield. They can obviously see what he's doing, but it's like, do what you think, man. As long as you do your work, you can play your Galaga. But
listen,
do your work too.
He was hiding from Nick Fury. Nick Fury wears an eye patch on his right side. The computer he chose was on the right side of the battleship, so he was hiding from somebody. Jaded, you were saying?
I'm pretty sure Maria Hill would have noticed that they was playing Galaga because the volume was on.
Yeah, the volume was on. You're right.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly hiding that he was playing Galaga. And not only that, after he does it, go like this, snitch mother, and then he starts playing it again.
So he's looking for one person.
What?
So he was looking back, but it's only for one person, and that's Tony Stark.
Yeah, so he basically turned around, gave Tony Stark a dirty look, and said, "Screw you! I'm back. I'm gonna go play Galaga. I'm on my break. Leave me alone."
We solved that.
My coffee break.
Yep.
Yeah, technically it could have been his lunch break, and he decided to spend his lunch break playing Galaga. So it's not like he was on the clock.
Disney Plus Live Day is coming on the 12th this year. But
Killmonger will be hosting it, guys.
Yeah.
I think it would have been worse if it was a two.
Are we done with this one?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Question 13. Wait. I'm at question 11. Actually, let me reset since we're at a landmark 10. I am Chillmonger. If you're joining, you know me. Over here is Flash by Night, a comic book YouTuber. You guys can check him out. He does YouTube videos like his re-up where he just tells you everything he read. We got Jaded Fanboy, who, if you want to see like a 10-minute rant about why Marvel doesn't know what,
a 10-minute rant about anything and everything.
about literally anything, go check him out. ssjk.sanctum. Sometimes he games, sometimes he gives you opinions on Dave Chappelle. That's his channel right there, ssjk.sanctum.
And I might just give you guys a review on this soon. Green
What
Lantern
is that?
Showcase 22, first introduction to Hal Jordan. It's pretty good so far. Not that bad.
Monica Rambeau is a federal agent. It's her job to arrest crooks like Wanda, not praise them and say, I do the same thing as you. You can praise her after she's in jail. That's something that has nothing to do with what we were talking about. But when you got different superpowered heroes who are the reason why half of the universe is back to life, you got to give them some grace. And that's what she gave Wanda. Yeah, the 12th of November. Yeah. Question number 11 of 33 burning MCU questions is, would you move out of Westview after WandaVision? If I'm a resident, I see what just happened in my town. No, I wouldn't. Keep, as long as Wanda left, I'm home. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, as long as she's out the neighborhood. Hey, just because somebody comes into the neighborhood blasting loud music doesn't mean I'm gonna leave my neighborhood just because that person's blasting some loud music and having a obnoxious party on the block.
Yeah, well, she did more than blast loud music. She kind of abducted them.
Well, yeah, but you know, hey, it's still their home. Most of them probably own those homes too. Some of them rent. Most of them probably own. They want to leave all that. That's like a bunch of money going to waste when you just keep investing into it. That can eventually be a home. They're not gonna. Nah, I wouldn't move out of Westview.
They should probably get like a bonus because of what they had to go through. They probably gotta receive compensation too.
Yeah, the government got to compensate.
Oh no, the government's going to be hiding that. No. The government's going to be covering that up.
That's extra compensation.
Wait a minute.
That's extra compensation. Now I got to keep your government secrets.
No. Well, that's also a weird thing of WandaVision. There should have been like helicopters and stuff. People. No.
Oh, don't get me on.
No. By the time they expanded and the bubble started becoming more noticeable when it turned red.
Satellite dishes, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Satellite cameras.
Not in the first episodes. In the first episode,
No.
you didn't know it was a bubble. You couldn't see the bubble. But later episodes, when it started turning red on the outside, you can see it. So I think people saw it then. It was like people are reporting on it.
Oh, that's a good point right here. Agatha, the evil witch, she's still there, so you do move. That is the correct answer. That's right.
Yeah, but she'd move out.
Agnes, the bothersome neighborhood lady is there. Agatha is not there. Agnes is there.
Agnes is there. Agatha.
If I knew either Agatha or Agnes were a witch, if I knew that person was that person, I'm leaving. But I don't think the general population knows.
But see, Agatha wasn't doing all the stuff. Wanda did everything. All Agatha did was kill a dog. She manipulated Ralph Boner to be Quicksilver's, to pretend to be Quicksilver. Wanda did everything. Yeah. All the evil stuff that happened was because of Wanda.
So they're watching the fight. They're probably cheering for Agatha.
Yeah. Because Wanda was the evil one. She did everything. Agatha did nothing wrong. I mean, she just wanted Wanda's power, but hey, Wanda was also evil in that regard too. It's like, freak her. They're probably like, take her power, get rid of her.
What does Agatha do with Wanda's powers if she actually got them? Like, did they ever give her a motivation?
Yeah, there was something about the mom and trying to get back at being a witch, and oh shoot, I can't remember.
No, but see, Agatha was going to be.
I thought she killed the mom and the other witches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they was about to kill her over something that they could have helped her with, because she was even in fear of what she wasn't like killing people. She had powers in her that she born with her dark magic and stuff.
She wanted to know how she wanted to know how Wanda learned her magic, and wanted to have the spell book, I guess.
Yeah.
She wanted, if I remember correctly, I guess they just wanted to learn how Wanda learned her magic so that she could learn it.
Yep.
And then once she learned what Wanda was, and it spooks her that she's the bringer of this chaos magic, she kind of, in a weird way, became a hero, because she knows that Wanda is going to go off the rails sometime in the next couple of years.
And as we see, Agatha is in more control of her magic than Wanda. Agatha's magic works.
Right.
Because Wanda's magic only works how it needs to because of her emotions. When she gets angry, we can see her she can go off and do what she almost did to Thanos in Endgame.
I think that's a little unfair.
No. I'm giving props to Agatha. I'm giving props to Agatha.
I'm going to you're unfair to Wanda. Because Wanda wasn't uncontrolled. She was using her magic as a coping mechanism to create this delusion. And her ability to sustain the delusion was crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
But
read it like this, because depending on her emotions, she did. I'll give an example. Remember in Infinity War, she wasn't really doing much with her magic. She was seeming very underpowered. When she got the end game, when she finally let that figure out and used it to try and kill Thanos.
Yeah, she was a little pissed.
But every version of Wanda you see,
even in Age of Ultron, when she was scared and stuff, and Hawkeye had to encourage her, and she felt more confident, she was like, "Oh yeah, I got this." Boom, boom. Her magic varies more on her how she's feeling.
But it's not fair because until WandaVision, it wasn't magic. It was just telekinetic abilities.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's what they call it.
She had
They said she was born as a witch. I was like, but whatever.
Because in Age of Ultron, she had the emotion control ability that she only ever used that one time, which would have been useful, in the airport fight, but never got used. And her main attack was just basically telekinetic powers. It wasn't until WandaVision where she was suddenly a witch and had magical powers.
See, Wanda's the villain.
Well, once you
it wasn't until WandaVision when they said she was born a witch. She had.
But once you're a hero,
she wasn't born a witch. She got her powers from the staff.
No. In WandaVision, the staff enhanced her abilities. She already had powers.
No, neither of them had powers.
Yeah,
no. Remember, but remember that.
When she was a young kid, when she was a young kid and the missile attack happened, they said that her powers, I forget exactly how, but her powers made sure that missile didn't go off when her and Pietro were kids in that apartment. So she's had some level of power since she was born.
But that's retconning. Because it wasn't until WandaVision that she was suddenly a witch. Before WandaVision, they both got their powers from the staff because they were both considered miracles because you weren't allowed to say mutants or whatever.
Yeah,
they were both miracle children.
We know what it is.
Yeah.
12. Who was the first Westviewer to forgive Wanda? Was it Herb? Was it that 70s show mom? Probably her. She lives an old life. She's like, I understand grief, honey. Don't worry, it's fine.
Where are you saying as who will or like?
Yeah, who will be the first one? Yeah, when it happens, who is going to be the first one to do it?
Oh, that 70s show mom.
Yep.
She don't walk up like, well, I forgive you, Wanda.
I don't know.
I don't know. Because I'm drawing a blank on
that 70s mom. It's gonna be that 70s mom. She's gonna be the one.
I'm drawing a blank on most of the characters.
I forget the name of the black neighbor.
Herb.
Herb. I'd say Herb would be the one to forgive him the most because he was so chill throughout everything.
Okay.
He was the most chill resident of Westview.
Yeah, he was a main character. He wasn't the one on the outskirts of town stuck putting up Halloween decorations.
Right.
And then TJ answers mom. Question 13.
I think I'd agree with Herb.
Herb. Okay, Herb. How did Carol affect the way Ronan saw Quill years after? Okay, so in the Captain Marvel film, we see Ronan. He's this blue guy. He's the Kree. He's watching Earth, and he's at C-53. His ballistic warheads didn't work, and they have a defense system who is called, Captain Marvel. He sees her. He runs away. Next time he sees a human, according to our knowledge, is when he bumps into Peter Quill, and he's like, "Oh, this is the Star-Lord guy," and he's dancing, and look, Ronan is just watching him with just intent because he's like, I know what your crew are capable of doing, so I'm not going to underestimate my enemy. But it turns out Quill was just an asshole. So you better thank Captain Marvel for the movie that happened years later in 2014 when Guardians of the Galaxy are dancing and being stupid.
I'm going to say this, just like Jay brought up earlier. Retcon. Because Quill, when Ronan saw the Quill and his crew, man, he was like their Thanos. He was like, I don't give a fuck about these people, these ants. Even when he fought Drax was like, yeah.
Like the guy.
I do remember your family.
the guy when Quill first gets the orb, the guys that were sent by Ronan to get him, they weren't even scared of Quill. They didn't even know who he was.
They said, who?
So if they don't know, if they're not scared of him, I don't see Ronan being scared of him.
I think it's simply because Ronan did see someone who was like obviously like freaking OP and just one-shotted a bunch of ships in like less than 30 seconds.
But he also knew who. But he also knew how Captain Marvel got his powers.
But they didn't know Quill was from Earth. They just bumped up in this planet where they're like, "Oh, well, there's supposed to be a stone there. Who are you? What? Star-Lord? I never heard."
Yeah, they didn't know it was an Earthling either because
would have said, "I'm from C-53." No, and that guy was on Captain Marvel's team too. What's his name? Do you guys know his name?
The black dude.
Him. Jimon
the guy that was in the What If that fanboyed all over T'Challa. Was not Star-Lord in the What If. It was T'Challa, okay?
Oh, I didn't watch What If. I had no idea what you're talking about. But you see, like that dude, he
Uh-oh.
would have known. If he would have just said C-53, that would have been it.
Yeah, Carol didn't affect it because like when it was just, I don't know why, but the dancing stuff obviously took away his attention way too much. Short attention span. But
now the Carol
Celestial.
I'm sorry.
He didn't know he was a Celestial.
He's a half Celestial.
Nova Corps found out he was a Celestial. They knew he was someone powerful. They know he was Celestial. They knew he came from someone very powerful.
Yeah. Flash.
Now, did Carol affect the way that Ronan saw the Power Stone? Like if there was no Carol and he didn't see the power Carol had back in the 80s, would he have assumed that he could take the Power Stone and run up on Thanos?
See, that's
I
how
think
she's integral to this MCU.
I think she's the reason why he thinks having an Infinity Stone makes him uber powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it does, but I think.
Well, he's not wrong about that because they did know because Ronan was working with Yon-Rogg and stuff, and Ronan, he's Kree. But I think it was more of in that film when Thanos, because Ronan didn't like the fact that Thanos was treating him his bottom B. I don't want to say the word, but his bottom B. That's how he was to Thanos. Like, you do what I say, you're mine. He was basically getting pimped out by Thanos, and he didn't like that he was being that he was being treated that way. And he wanted to, he just knew with the Power Stone, whether it was Carol or not, he knew that I can use this stone and put Thanos in check and make him.
I think he was more hoping that he could put him in check as opposed to knowing.
Right. It was out of hope because his reputation was kind of going to be messed up by his own people. It's like, oh, you're gonna let Thanos treat you like this all the time. You're a punk. When we follow behind you, you're weak. So he needed to do that to get his reputation.
It's amazing how many aliens look human in the MCU, isn't it?
Yeah, that's also true. Like most of the Kree look like humans. So
yeah, probably other races out there too.
Yeah, because even the girl that was the girl that worked for the Collector, whatever race she was, she also looked human.
Yeah, just pink, exactly.
Yeah.
Question number 14 of 33 burning MCU questions. Would you like a Kevin Feige cameo, Jaded Fanboy?
Only if he gets shot in the cameo.
Damn.
I don't know why he hasn't made a cameo yet.
If it's a cameo and then something explodes and he dies, you would see the audience cheering.
Hey, Deadpool would be the guy responsible for that.
Yeah.
It's like, I think if anything,
and then we can start to run on Deadpool cameo.
And Deadpool shoots Feige or something. It was like, oh, I just destroyed the MCU.
I'm just saying, don't use Feige to replace Stan Lee because that would piss me off.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do. And Deadpool's the only guy I would accept as like a reoccurring cameo because it just wouldn't make sense. But it's also Deadpool.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense for Deadpool to take over that.
And TJ, would you like a Kevin Feige cameo?
No, that not necessary. Well, you know what? I wouldn't mind a Feige cameo, but I wouldn't like the recurring Feige cameo.
Yeah, and to answer this question here, the whole universe doesn't learn to speak English. Captain Marvel says, my universal translator should be working when she was asking the security guard.
Yeah, but not
outside
everybody
Blockbuster.
has a universal translator.
Yeah, so shout out to Captain Marvel for
Right.
explaining things. And then he says, the greatest and most important ever cameo was in Captain Marvelous when Stan Lee saw her on the train and died afterwards. So Feige needs to be in Captain Marvel too in respect to Stan Lee. That makes no sense at all.
That makes no sense.
Kevin Feige makes an appearance as a Pizza
Okay,
Hut manager.
Feige.
I'll be all for it. I don't get it. Why Pizza Hut? You like Pizza Hut? Is there an inside joke I'm missing out on?
I don't know.
Stuffed crust. Kevin Feige serves food at Kamala's high school. Both are from New Jersey.
Oh, so you did have a cameo.
No, he's suggesting it.
Oh.
Because
Okay,
we haven't seen Ms. Marvel yet.
At Kamala's high school.
We've not yet seen her yet.
And we're not missing anything.
Question. I clicked on the wrong thing. Does DC have a Kevin Feige?
Walter Hamada. That's his job. He's the president of DC Films.
Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder.
Patty Jenkins is just a director.
Have Zack Snyder do a cameo. That'll freak everybody.
Wait, Feige's the president of what's he's the president of now?
The
in
Chief
Marvel?
Creative Officer.
Whatever.
Is that the same as Walter Hamada's position in a sense? Because Feige now he oversees some stuff with comics, movies.
Yeah. So it's
But
more
Walter
than
Hamada
Walter.
oversees. He's the president of DC Films.
Okay, so
Not
then
the same as Feige.
Feige has more powers because he can oversee comic book stuff. He's Marvel.
Well, before that
No,
change
he
happened.
doesn't have any control over the TV shows.
Those are done.
No, but I'm saying he never had control over the TV shows, though.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was just overseeing the films. Same as Walter.
What's this blasphemous?
He's not manager.
He does not look like a Pizza Hut manager. He looks like a guy with a hat. He's possibly balding, and we like him for that. We know not everyone's perfect. He's got some insecurities.
He does look like a stressed out Pizza Hut manager, bro. He thought he'd been working there for like 50 years. Like, welcome to Pizza Hut, home to Hut. How may I help?
Home of the Hut. Oh my god.
Making up slogans. What is their
No,
slogan?
that's an old one. That's an old slogan.
Oh, I just made that up. I didn't even know.
No,
it was
welcome
slogan.
to the Hut.
I just made that up.
You can go back to like 1980s or 1990s Pizza Hut, and it goes, "Welcome to the Hut." Yes, that would be good. Oh, yes, absolutely, 100% behind that.
Hey, Snehil, you've been commenting, and I have no idea how to say your name forever. Snehil. How do I say it? Like phonetically spell it.
Smeagol.
You're going with Snehil? K-Dot, what do you think it is?
Careful. It's probably one of those names where one word is silent. You got to be careful.
Yeah, it's probably Sneh.
You
want to try on this TJ before he answers how do we say his name? Sneh. It's probably a she. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Snile.
All right, Snile.
Just to do the last name.
The 15th question of 33 Burning MCU Questions is, do you guys have any Disney Plus Day predictions? That's November 12th, like we said earlier.
I got one, but it depends on another company if this happens.
Which is
Spider-Man No Way Home trailer 2 drops.
Oh,
it depends on Sony. It depends on Sony.
Hey, we're really close.
If they don't give them a go ahead, then we don't get no. Maybe they may talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, but I don't think. But it's a good chance we could get trailer. Sony's like, yo, let's capitalize on this day. This is a perfect day to capitalize on it.
TJ.
And with that, Disney Plus Day is ruined for me. No more Spider-Man info. We don't need any more hints, no more leaks, no more drops. We know it's coming.
You're getting it.
Spider-Man needs to rest until the premiere date. But my prediction, and it's just because of my fandom, Moon Knight footage. Give me some kind of Moon Knight footage. That's what and debunk this picture that was going around about a month or two ago.
Hey, there's
Give
a
me
reason
some
why
good Moon Knight footage.
it's called Flash by Night. So don't forget that's his character right there.
Oh God.
No,
That's
that's good. That's a
that's
good
what
theory.
that's what I really want.
I'll have a longer answer. So Jaded, you go first. You go next.
The prediction?
Yeah.
I can't remember who did the tweet or who did the announcement or something like that, but it's like, don't get your hopes up about Garfield and Tobey Maguire being in the movie. So I think there's a good chance that Toby and Garfield are gonna have just cameos and not major roles.
Oh, if not, then this movie will be trash.
No, because the hype would be why have a tweet? Why have a tweet saying, reel back your expectations of Toby and Garfield? Unless
I think it's one of those. I know the one we're talking about where Feige said it. That one.
yeah, I think so.
I think this is my I think Feige as a producer has to still deny it. He can't confirm it because he can't even spoil the movies himself.
Yeah, but why? But why?
He knows that we know, but like he's just pretending like he doesn't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's no reason to even say it unless there's a reason. And it's like I would laugh if Toby and Garfield are just like 3-minute cameos.
Oh yeah, if they're like 3-minute cameos.
I hope they are cameos. I have been on this. We don't need there's a whole if we're gonna do multiverse, if we're gonna do Spider-Verse in any fashion, there's a whole Spider-Verse with hundreds of different kinds of Spider-Men, women, whatever. I think personally, the story may be good, but it's kind of lazy to say here's 3 Peters. We have a Spider-Verse, but we're giving you these 3 regular 616 type Peters. I don't want that personally. I'm gonna still see it no matter what.
Yep.
But I would rather have
what's about to happen.
Don't deny it.
I'll pull my tweets and post up. I really don't want 3 Peters. I really don't. If you're gonna give me a multiverse, give me a variety. You can bring Toby in. You can bring the other Spider-Man Garfield. Yeah, Garfield. Whose movies I actually. This is a weird one. I actually like the Amazing Spider-Man movies more than the original Spider-Man movies. But I don't want the 3 Peters. I have all kind of minority opinions.
Flash. I'll say this.
I really don't. Go ahead.
Flash, I'll say this because I feel you. For me, if I had the power to, I would not make this even a multiverse film. I would have made this a self-contained movie just about Peter, because I think even for a third film in his MCU trilogy, this is kind of too big. I understand every third MCU film does something big, like when Civil War, Iron Man 3, Thor Ragnarok, something very big happens in this film that has a greater effect on the MCU. But I think dealing with the multiverse for a third film, and you look at the first 2 movies, he goes from Vulture, Mysterio, now the multiverse. I'm like kind of rushing it. That's like too soon.
I think the
but I'm okay with it.
I think the
things are getting Toby and Andrew, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, William Dafoe's Green Goblin specifically. All great games.
Okay.
Snail.
I think the solo smaller Peter Parker idea was kind of dead on arrival from the time he hit Civil War. Like look here, you are in this family of this big storytelling tapestry. I don't think many MCU movies or characters are going to have the chance to not be as self-contained. Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of hard. Plus, he's in New York where everything is. So I don't know.
They'll show a trailer of the Aliens TV series at the Disney Plus Day starring Daisy Ridley as the
Sigourney Weaver.
Oh,
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Who said it? I want a Thunderbolts. Yeah, I want some Thunderbolt news. I agree. I want that too.
okay.
I'm iffy on that. I'm
Look,
iffy on
if
that.
they announce
Aliens
something,
one.
Kata, yeah.
I'm iffy on that Aliens one because like Disney Plus, as it's marketed in America, they wouldn't put content like Aliens on Disney Plus because it's going to be a very nasty, gritty, dark, bloody show. But
yeah, you can make Aliens PG.
I hope they don't. But I'm saying they may announce it, but I don't think they won't show any footage. They'll announce it. I don't think they're going to find it. They're going to try and put it somewhere else. Maybe on that Stars thing, that Stars app that they have with Disney Plus longer, that's only available in like international countries.
What do you mean show
or
us?
Hulu? They might put it on Hulu. Maybe Hulu.
What was
He's talking
Black
about
Widow?
my video that I did like a day ago when I was talking about how you shouldn't call it Captain Marvel. You should call it Captain Marvel 2 rather than the Marvels because everyone else gets to have their name in the film. I don't know why Carol all of a sudden loses the Captain Marvelness of it. I feel like you gotta treat her the same way you treat like the other ones, so that you can signal to the fans that she is a main character.
I think it's because there was so much backlash to the actress that they try and obfuscate to the fans. It's not really Captain Marvel 2. It's Marvel's. It's Marvel's. So those of you who hated it, you might want to be able to watch it. I think it was just damage control.
And I think
I have nothing to prove to you.
well
I
said.
agree.
I'm not a huge fan of Captain Marvel, but I don't like the fact that they're calling it the Marvels either, because I'm like, that doesn't make sense for a second movie title about. That's like going into Captain America 2 and calling it the Americans.
You could, because Bucky is a Captain America, Falcon is a Captain America. When Jane Foster pulls Thor's hammer, they're gonna call it Thor's. No, it's Love and Thunder.
That's why, even though I'm not a huge fan of Carol Danvers, I still think that's a whack title for a second film. That's not a good one. The Marvels.
Oh, my Disney Plus prediction is after this last couple of years and announcing things and things getting delayed, they need to not announce as much. So if we're going to get 4 Disney Plus shows a year, let's slow it down. How about we only announce 3 new ones? You can still fulfill me and make me happy by showing me the Ms. Marvel trailer, which we still haven't gotten. We still also haven't gotten Spider-Man like K-Dot suggested, which is going to be awesome, and Moon Knight footage. Those are 3 things that they have footage that they can make trailers out of, and everyone will leave that day satisfied. You don't need to announce some shit that's coming in 2024, which possibly could get delayed until 2025. Stop announcing things as early as you've been doing. So,
I see. Okay.
My prediction is just slow it down. You still got to announce something new, but instead of announcing 4 new things, how about just maybe 2 new things, and probably confirmation of that Wakandan series that we didn't really know about, but we kind of know about. Confirmation on the Echo series too. Flash.
So the Disney Plus Day isn't that an investor event kind of disguised as a fan thing? So I think one of the reasons why they do the long-term announcements, I think, is because of the investors, and because
just announce the date. Just
if
say we have these titles. Just say we have these films, that are untitled, but it's a Marvel Studios release. Just announce those things. They don't need to know it's Ironheart.
But now you're asking the investors, though. You're asking the investors to invest money in just trust that we're going to do these things in the future, and that when it comes out, you'll see and you'll be happy. I don't know if as an investor event, they're going to keep some of the investments that you will be happy with in the future secret. I don't. That's kind of hard to balance those two. Like if it was just a fan event, then I can see that.
But how long in advance do the investors need to know before they'll be mad? If they know something that's coming 2 years in advance, is that fine?
Well, yeah, because you want them to have you want them to be a long-term investor, right? So if you're going,
Right.
we have this
That's-
plan in, we have this plan in 2 years, we have this plan in 4 years, we have this plan in 5 years. You're telling your investors we have a long-term plan. We are serious about this.
I think you can say that by just
Right.
saying it's untitled.
Uh,
We'll title the first
Well,
year and
well,
the second
think about
year,
it.
but 3
Think
years
about-
in advance, we'll just tell you we're doing something in spring, we're doing something in summer.
But think if you think about it, if you asked a bunch of investors with big money, if you're Ford, let's say, you asked a bunch of investors with big money who you want to invest in your company to come and see a presentation, and you say, well, next year we are going to bring out a new body for the Ford Mustang, but year after next we're bringing out this vehicle that's going to be great, but we can't tell you exactly what kind of vehicle it is yet. And then 2 years from now, we have this upgrade to this vehicle here, but we can't tell you exactly what the upgrade is. But just trust me, the upgrade is going to be great when you see it. I don't know if like I say, I kind of agree with you that we don't, because right now we're juggling Ironheart, and I'm looking forward to Secret Invasion and whatever this Christmas Groot thing is.
Yeah,
Like
we've known about that
want to
for
know
a
what all that
year,
stuff
and
is.
it hasn't been filmed yet. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like they're
Right.
counting your chickens.
That's as a fan thing. I like your idea of slowing down all of the announcements, but I think as an investment tool, the investors want to know every single thing that you have laid out that we're putting our money into. So I don't know if the entertainment part is going to outweigh the investment part. I put it like that.
They're also going to want to know how much money are you investing? How much money are you what's the production cost? Is it going to be a $10 million series? Is it a $20 million series? Like how much are you putting into it?
Would you like this, like in the animation style of the Silver Surfer show, which I'm sure you loved, a Captain Marvel?
Yeah, I saw the Silver Surfer episode. I already have them. I have those.
Yeah, but would you like a Captain Marvel show with the same animation?
No, switch it up.
Keyshawn from the Low Key Cave says, "Will Spider-Man No Way Home be bigger than Flash movie with both Batmans?" It would be bigger. There's no way.
Are 3 Spider-Mans bigger than 2 Batmans?
Mm-hmm.
But not bigger than 2 Flashes.
I think they're equally.
I said that. I don't believe that. I love the Flash, but even I don't believe that.
I think they're equally as big, because we have to factor in there's people who love Toby. Andrew has a weird following. He has like a small cult following that loves him. But people still love him.
Yes, I'm in the cult.
I mean, I love Andrew, but like compared to people who love Tom and Toby, there's a less Andrew lovers than there are Toby and Tom lovers of their Spider-Man. With Michael Keaton's Batman,
right?
A lot of people love him. If you're a Batman fan, a fan of deep comic movies,
and if you're old,
one of the OGs that really he had one of the first good comic book films, and people still respect him to this day. Ben Affleck's Batman. He ain't my favorite Batman, but there's some parts I love about him, and there's a lot of people who do love Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who love Ben Affleck's Batman now. He's not the Batman I would prefer, but even there's things I can admit to like about the guy. I think they're both cameos even. I'm not going to say one is going to be better than the other. They're both even as Batman and Spider-Man, two of the biggest comic book characters who ever exist. They still are. Nobody's bigger than them right now.
Hey, you're skipping the line over here, buddy. He says, "What would you make in a cave with a box of scraps?" And he knows this because he read the description where I always put the the questions in earlier right before. That's funny. Yeah. Let's moving on to 16, guys. He says that he'd make a pager that can page from anywhere in the universe and it's indestructible. I'm not asking you what you would figuratively if you had a pen and you were creating this comic book. I mean, like you physically, like you are you.
Do I have Tony Stark's genius?
No, you're you. You're just yourself.
And I'd make a little cardboard box. I don't have any skill. The hell am I gonna do?
Wait, whatever I make, it would light up,
Make a
and that's
little
about
box. Yeah, that's all I do.
Well, if
I would make noise.
I'll just have a hammer and
Make
I'll
a
be banging
drum
stuff. I'm just gonna be hitting shit and not even creating nothing.
Make people think you know what you're doing.
Well, that's the thing. We wouldn't be there because we'd all be dead. Because we'll be useless to them because we're not making weapons.
We're
Yeah,
at the
they're gonna put us in a room with the Jericho missile and all the technology, and like, here, go ahead, have some fun.
Hey, it worked for one guy.
Yeah, but for a specific reason.
I make a toy gun and play with it. Oh man, what's to say? Yeah, okay. So Aliens on Hulu does make sense, but there was a little dispute about the contract. Like, who owns Aliens? Is it right for Disney to own it, or because 20th Century Fox had like a weird agreement? I can't explain it properly because I don't remember it properly.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
You'd be surprised if it's on Disney Plus because that's not saying it's just for kids, but like Disney Plus is marketed more for the family friendly place. Aliens is not family friendly. That's a horror, sci-fi. Makes sense for it to go on Hulu because Hulu's more adult stuff on there than.
I would work on Netflix too, though.
Yeah, but they don't really own Netflix. They've got a stake in Hulu.
Oh, okay, I see. That's the reason. Okay, I didn't understand why you picked Hulu.
Oh, why do the Eternals reference Superman and Batman? I don't believe they did. I watched the trailers.
They reference Superman, not Batman.
They reference Superman. And there's a Batman, and if I remember correctly, there's supposed to be a Batman poster. A Batman movie poster.
This is bizarre.
Yes.
Well, I don't know why.
No. There's a Spider-Man movie poster in
Morbius.
BVS. In BVS, there was a Tobey Maguire movie poster.
Oh no, that was Dark Knight. It was Dark Knight.
It was Dark Knight. It was Dark Knight. You're right. Sorry.
Poster,
Dark Knight. There was a Tobey Maguire movie poster.
Yeah, and I remember Aunt May saying, "You're not Superman, you know." I remember that.
Yeah,
Superman, you know.
Hey, is Luis a better storyteller than Stan Lee? He is. Let's be real, guys.
Who's Luis?
Remember
the Ant-Man when he speaks and there's always a voiceover.
Oh, Luis.
Yeah, crazy, stupid fine.
See, he even voiced Stan Lee. Like, come on now. Found out.
He voiced Stan Lee.
He's a faster storyteller. I'll give him that.
He tells stories in a funny way that just makes it, even though it's super over exaggerated the way it's telling it, it's fun. It's straight to the point. It's fast.
Not always straight to the point. My sister's cousin, we're at the barbecue, talking about the cousin and his nephew. It's not always straight to the point.
Yeah, but I would take his storytelling because I'm like, it's funny. He's the way he's telling it, and his voice and stuff too. I was saying his voice is, it was just funny. It was the way he tells story, his voice, all that makes it funny. So yeah, I'll sit there and listen to it.
Hey, is it unanimous?
So much energy. It's so much energy for such a simple story.
Stanley tells better stories.
Right. So Stanley's story, Louis delivery.
But Stanley would tell better stories.
Louis delivery, Stanley's story.
Yay. Best of both worlds. 18
Okay.
is Daredevil in No Way Home, because I saw a leaked trailer that may or may not be real. And I don't know.
You wrote Now Way Home.
Oh, well.
Oh, jeez.
Error.
MSK writing skills.
There we go. Well, W is the beginning of the next word. You can obviously see how there was no red underline to correct me, guys. Cut me some slack, goddamn.
Why would he be?
I don't know. I think I saw like internet rumors, and then I saw a little fake trailer that may not be fake. It may actually be real. I don't know. I want to say yes.
I don't think he is.
I'm hoping.
That would be tricky.
And TJ, you don't think
cameo,
he is?
like you mean like a swing by, like in the background, like for like a half second or something, or you mean like in the actual movie?
A speaking role in No Way Home. I'm Daredevil, Matt Murdock. Nice to meet you.
that's too much in what already may be a packed movie. I think trying to squeeze him in is too much.
You got 6 supervillains. You got 3 Spider-Mans. You're going to add Daredevil?
Why not? He needs someone to represent him in court.
Oh, so no. So, okay. Are you saying Matt Murdock or are you saying Daredevil?
Either or.
No, because if you're saying Matt Murdock, I could see a Matt Murdock appearance. I could see a Matt Murdock cameo, but not.
I think he's in No Way Home. The same person who leaked the information about Toby and Andrew, Doc Ock, and all of them said Matt Murdock's going to be in the movie. Yeah, he's going to be in the movie.
I can see Matt Murdock. I just can't see Daredevil.
There it is. That's 3 of us.
No costume.
Flash by night.
I will acquiesce to the majority.
There we go.
I will acquiesce.
19. Has Lady Syff ever been hit on from the Warriors 3? All the times they go out drinking.
Yeah, Balder. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Only Balder would have been hit.
Who wouldn't?
The big guy. I can't remember the name of the big guy.
But she's sour because
Volstag's married. Well, in the comic books, Volstagg is married. Then there's the other. There's Balder, and then there's the other guy. I can't remember his name.
Fenrir.
Yeah. I can't see him hitting on anybody.
All I know is the one she wants the most attention from is Thor, and he probably gives her the least amount. There was probably like one night 300 years ago that went well for her, but he probably piss drunk didn't even remember it. It's spelled Sith, not Sif. And the more you know. Lady Syff, not Lady Syff. All right, buddy. Okay. Thanks for the update.
You can't spell no, so you got to give him some. You got to give him some leeway.
20. If Monica makes a Fresh Prince reference, like I'm talking about grown-up Monica now, because we saw her do it in Captain Marvel, would it be good writing or would it be forced?
It would be a corny Easter egg.
Wait, why would she make a Fresh Prince reference?
Because she was like in the Captain Marvel movie when she was a kid. She was like, "No, why don't you stay here and watch Fresh Prince with me?" Or she made some comment like that.
Oh, she's probably gonna mention it.
No, she told her mom to leave. She told her mom to leave. And why would you stay here and watch Fresh Prince with me?
Yeah,
depends on how the line's delivered. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind a fresh.
Somebody gets thrown out like Jazz. She'd be like, "Yeah, he got threw out like Jazz," and I'll be like, "Yeah, it makes sense to me. I get it."
If she dies, she would have to make a reference to the new Fresh Prince.
Of the new show coming out? No, different studio.
Oh, then I don't know. Then that would be interesting.
It depends on the situation of the dialogue. Yeah, but I'm asking for an extreme, Adnan. I don't know. Is it good writing? Well, what? It's good writing?
No, it's not good writing. It's just
it is
rehashing.
I think it's good. It's good. It's good recollection. Whether it's good writing or lazy depends on what the line is. But I would enjoy a Fresh Prince line. I probably wouldn't even think of the fact the Fresh Prince thing is just she referenced Fresh Prince. That's what I would think. Until somebody brought up the young Monica Fresh Prince thing.
Hey, well, she is jazzy like Jeff.
Yeah, crazy stupid fine.
Of all the things in the Marvel movie, you remember that
I remember everything. I asked 33 burning questions. You don't think I know everything that happened in every single film that in existence?
That's not a burning question.
It is when I ask it.
That's a light simmer.
It is now.
Do you say blip when you refer to what Thanos did?
No, I would say the blip.
Okay, or the blip, same shit.
Oh.
Do you say the snap? Do you say the justice? Do you say the decimation? What is it?
The snap. Usually the snap.
I'm slowly turning into a blipper. You say snap? Really? And K-Dot, how do you refer to it? Snap. Blip?
The snap, the blip is too goofy.
It's not too... It's too 12-year-old.
It's like I'm not trying to relate it to a thing. It's like if the atom when the
You
nuclear
never saw the what if.
it's like when the nuke hit Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We don't call it like what's the splat. We don't call it the splat.
Oh, that's the worst. No, we don't call it the splat. No.
I'm just saying, it's like taking something really horrific that happened and you just double it like that.
Man. Question number 22 of 33 burning MCU questions. Which was Thanos' favorite stone? The first one he went for was the Power Stone. It was power.
I think reality.
It wasn't Mind Stone. He gave that one to Loki, so he could afford not having it. Reality?
I think reality. He wanted to change the reality of life. He wanted to try and create this impossible new form of this new way of life that is not of reality, which is a world where the populations can share resources equally.
I'm going to change my answer to reality.
I think it was reality. So
he does presentations to Doctor Strange showing him the old planet before, and now it's Titan. That's reality.
And he used it for freaking storytelling. It's the reality stuff. He used it to just explain his past. If that doesn't say he loves the reality stone, then I don't know what is.
Possibly.
Right.
Yeah, he is so infatuated by himself.
Reality takes it, right?
What would you
reality
think
wins. Reality wins.
What would you think he used to be able to get them to throw the moon at Tony Stark?
I feel like he transported it, so that's the blue Tesseract stone thing.
No, what he pulled
Space Stone.
He took it and he went like this, so he kind of
he pulled slow pieces.
He used the telekinetic ability, so I would say the Reality Stone to be able
to took the Reality Stone, Space Stone, and Power Stone to do that.
Yeah.
Because he was pulling fragments of the planet. He didn't pull the whole planet down.
No, it was just a moon. It was a small moon. It wasn't a planet. He didn't throw a planet at Tony Stark. He threw a small moon.
Right.
I don't think he had a favorite stone because he barely used any of them.
And then you used them to destroy them. So which was the last stone standing?
I think the Reality Stone, like you said, though, kind of represents his overall passion in life. So if there were a favorite, I go Reality.
Number 23. Did Rhodey watch Comic View on BET? Coming at you 6 nights a week. Get your laugh.
I've not seen Comic View on BET. Why would you?
It's on channel 49. David.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm too edgy for TV, so
I want to say Rhodey watched and he was a fan.
This was back when TV was the thing. I don't think there was that internet back when Comic View was because we're talking back when Bernie Mac started and
when was Comic View on?
Early
2000, 2005, I think.
Oh yeah, there was internet back then.
Maybe early. It was. I feel like it was earlier than that.
I'll Google it now.
Like late 90s, early 2000s at the latest, but I feel like late 90s.
You had dial-up by the
1992, and it lasted for 14 seasons.
Okay, so near the end.
Okay. Yeah, because like you had Martin getting his start, and all of these older comedians now getting their start on Comic View.
Yeah, I don't know how busy he was. Military stuff.
You mean the stand-up thing?
Yeah.
You mean Comic View? You mean the stand-up?
Yeah.
That wasn't just on.
Yeah, it was a stand. It was BET show. I don't know if they showed it other places.
Comedy Network had that too.
It's like the fourth time they both spoke together. Yeah. How about Jaded explain? You don't know about this show, Jaded?
Yeah, Comic View. Obviously it was obviously first on BET. but you would eventually get you'd be able to see clips and segments on Comedy Central.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
they
You wouldn't
licensed
watch
it
the
out.
whole show. You wouldn't see the whole show.
So that's
But
two
you would-
opportunities for Rhodey to watch the show.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he watched this show.
I don't know about a young Rhodey though. Was young Rhodey like a stick in the mud though? Like was he always this militarized, straightforward Rhodey,
Well, he comes from a military
or was he rambunctious when he was young?
He couldn't laugh. He's friends with Tony Stark. You don't think he enjoys a good time laughing?
Yeah, but was he friends with Tony in the movie in the MCU? Was he friends with Tony Stark before? No, because he said
No, they was friends since they was like
remind
kids.
him of that part of that girl he dated in Las Vegas, blah blah blah. So he could have been friends with Rhodey before he was in the military.
The first Rhodey, the first what is his name? Before Don Cheadle. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
The good Rhodey, not
Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
the cheap copy.
Terrence Howard watched Comic View. I'm not sure about Don Cheadle.
Man.
I'm sure
But-
Terrence Howard Rhodey watched Comic View.
24. Does Okoye make a better general than Captain America would? Because he gave out a couple of orders. Hulk, do that. Hey, Thor, you got the lightning, light the bastards up. We've seen Captain America instruct. Does Okoye make a better general than he would? TJ, you've got some experience in this field.
I think she would. If you remember in the Black Panther movie, Okoye once the Killmonger, because one of my favorite scenes from Black Panther. Once Killmonger took over, once he won the challenge, and he was named King, Okoye and it's not Nokia because that's a phone. No,
Nakia?
the spy, Nakia. Yeah, Okoye and Nakia kind of had this standoff where Nakia was like, "We've got to do something. We've got to get rid of Killmonger," and Okoye is like, "No, we have to serve the throne. And he's who's on the throne." Captain America, I don't know if Captain America, if he sees, the country or the civilization going one way, I don't know if he'd follow it straight enough to become a general. I think he'd veer off his own way. I think to become a general, you kind of got to buy some of the, let's say, propaganda. You kind of got to buy the byline. Yeah, you got to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit if you're going to get that far into the leadership role. Whereas Captain America, once he saw the Kool-Aid, would go the other way and do what he thinks is right. There we go. Whew.
Right answer. Data.
Does Okoye make a better general than Captain America? I mean, we haven't really seen neither of them be generals or give orders. In Avengers 1, we saw Cap tell the team go up there, do there, go there. In Avengers 2, neither. They don't really give them chances to give orders and lead and stuff. They kind of just, but it's more like this. The heroes around them know what they're supposed to do ahead of time. So it's like, maybe they have told enough orders to the point where the people they have working for them, their soldiers, they just know what to do ahead of time.
Hey,
Captain America. They know their orders. But I know it's better because they're both. It's the same situation for both of them.
There was one fight where they were both in, and it was Avengers Endgame. And Captain America gave an order. It was 2 syllables. It was Avengers assemble. And the whole universe was saved off of this. So I don't know. Okoye.
See, that's the thing. Everyone knew what to do as soon as he said Avengers assemble. He didn't tell them, I want you guys here, or there. He knew that everyone knew what they were supposed to do. So yeah. All right, maybe
fight for your life.
He had faith and knew everyone was going to do everything they were supposed to do. So yeah, Captain America's better. Cap's better. Because he has faith in his soldiers to do what they need to do by just saying 2 words: Avengers Assemble. Captain America.
Captain America, when Cap sees
But
things
Okoye,
for himself-
remember-
Yeah.
Go ahead, Flash.
Go ahead.
I was about Okoye literally is as T'Challa calls her, a general. Even if he says it in a sly kind of way.
Jaded, what's your answer on this?
You have Captain America, who was able to get the Howling Commandos to work with them. But with Okoye, she's the head bodyguard, and those who are working with her will die with her order.
They're easy to order.
Howling Commandos will not die by if Captain America asks them to do a mission or an act that will be an automatic death sentence. The Howling Commandos and anybody under Cap will go, no, I don't think so. But if you're under Okoye and she says we have to do this and it means our deaths, everybody under her will go, that's what we got to do.
So it's easy to give orders when you're Okoye, you're the general of the Dora Milaje. But a general does more than two things. A general she's a slave to her, responsibilities to be Killmonger's head honcho, and she was willing to do that. That's bad. But when it comes to giving orders, yes, it's that's a plus. Now, if you combine that, or when you juxtaposed it to Captain America, he won't listen to his superior, but we see that as a good thing because he's always on the moral correct side. When it comes to giving out orders, if the people are listening to him, they are more free-willed. So yeah, it looks like Captain America is going to take this one over Okoye.
No, because because Captain America doesn't command the loyalty that Okoye does.
He inspires loyalty.
He inspires, yeah. but she earns it. She establishes it. I would say Okoye myself.
Yeah, because
when
they defected against Killmonger, Okoye is loyal to Wakanda. Her soldiers are known to be loyal to Wakanda. So when she thought that in favor of Wakanda, that Killmonger was not right for Wakanda, when she turned, her Dora Milaje turned. He's like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They are of one mind. If Okoye says this is what we're doing, then they're all doing it. With Captain America, if he says I want to do something else, they're gonna go, I don't think so. I'm not.
Jada, let me ask you this: if Okoye was to betray Wakanda, would they still follow her?
Yes, they would absolutely. Whatever her, because they are loyal to the rules of Wakanda, and that is the rules. And if they to actually be part of the group, I can't remember the name.
Dora Milaje.
Yeah, to be part of that. To be part of that, you have to devote yourself to that role. And if that means following whatever the general says, whoever it is, then you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I like Okoye. So
let's answer this incredibly divisive question. Who's going to be a better Atlantean? Is it Aquaman from DC or is it Neymar in the MCU? And then he says, I think Aquaman because Mera is hot.
Because Mera is hot. There's a little bit of bias in your answer.
From what I hear, Neymar is more of a douchey kind of guy.
I think
Aquaman
he's egotistical.
I think Aquaman's going to be. He's going to be a lot more likable as an Atlantean. He'll be a lot more likable. Neymar, he's going to be cool, but everyone's like, yeah, this guy's a douche, but he's cool though. He's cool. He does some cool shit.
It's also who's going to play Neymar because it's like, how you gonna top, Jason Momoa? I guess it's going to be kind of hard.
Strangest thing is for the Neymar,
and if he's gonna have wings
on his ankles,
yeah, is he gonna have wings on his ankles?
Hey, they need to do it. If he doesn't have the wings on his ankle, trash adaptation. He needs to have wings. Just do it. Go for it. Like let it happen. It won't be. People think it's gonna be goofy, but like a lot of his comic book stuff is goofy. Let it happen.
Not only that, with Neymar, his powers outside the water is limited, whereas his powers inside the water is unlimited. Whereas with Aquaman, it doesn't matter to him.
Yeah.
Didn't know that part.
Because that trident is made by, well, it's made by
It's
Poseidon.
way more strong outside the water, but he can't sustain it that long.
25. Who invited veterans to Avengers Tower? This is that Age of Ultron. Excelsior, remember? Another Stan Lee cameo.
Cap.
Not easy. Cap.
Those
Cap?
is our war buddy. Wait, those is vets?
Those were all
Yeah.
bad. Because when Thor goes about the drink and Stan Lee goes, we've all been through Normandy. We can handle it, or not Normandy, or some wherever.
No, he didn't say Normandy. He's like, give me it, Blondie, Normandy. Yeah, he said Normandy.
Something like that.
I mean, were they specifically like
Yeah.
two vets or just vets in general from any war?
We
Vietnam.
need any war.
I mean, he was the only one to have a speaking role, so I'm not sure if there were vets of other campaigns, but I assume, especially since we regard them as the greatest generation, I assume that they were all probably World War II vets.
Okay, that makes sense because some of them
Including
probably.
the Rage as well.
All right. 26 is Do You Recommend What If? And I haven't watched it. That's why I'm asking. Jaded, do you recommend
No,
What If?
26 and a half. I like that one.
Well, okay, 26 and a half is Did What If fill the void between MCU shows?
Yeah.
Void.
It
I didn't
showed
know there was a void.
What If showed all the issues of not carefully writing and paying attention to what you're writing, and just letting it
Omaha Beach.
fall flat on your face. Like that's what the What If was. They was not paying attention to it, the writing, the storytelling. It was just let's just make anything. So no, it's not. It's if you're all about lore, the show does not respect lore. It doesn't. It's just write anything, let it happen. We don't care. You don't even need to connect to nothing. You don't need to care about what was previously established. Just do whatever you want. It's that kind of show. It doesn't respect MCU lore. So.
Yeah. No,
But
watch it.
watch What If.
So is the purpose of What If, because this is an argument I have on some places, but is the purpose of What If to respect the MCU's lore? Like to me, the name What If says that we are going off the rails. Like we're getting close to stories that you like, but we're going to go intentionally off the rails. And I feel like people wanted to see direct connections to the MCU in What If, but the purpose of What If is to be purposely different, in my opinion.
Yeah, let me explain what I mean. Like, because there's the thing, paying attention to what you previously established, you also paying respect. So like you're at least trying to make sense of what you're establishing, what you're writing. Right. But when I say that, I'll give an example. In episode 8 and 9, and I can't believe they let this happen. So in episode 8, they showed Ultron established that he can take these Infinity Stones, go to different universes, and still have the same power throughout. He went like he was beating out the Watcher in like 20 different universes. Then we get to episode 9, and then they tell us that each Infinity Stone is unique to its own respective universe. And all of a sudden, Gamora's Infinity Stone Crusher doesn't work, but Ultron's Infinity Stones can work in 20 different multiverses.
Wait. Did they say that the Infinity Stones only work in one universe, or did they say that the Crusher only works to a specific set of stones?
No, that the stones were unique.
Every single stone in every universe is unique to that universe.
Now I know that's the case in the books. I've got to go back and watch it. I go back and watch it, but I feel like I remember, and don't trust my memory, but I feel like I remember her specifically saying that the Crusher only works on the stones from the universe that they created the Crusher. But I don't remember them specifically saying the stones only work in a certain universe. I don't remember that. I don't remember that being said, but I could be wrong.
Chillmark could share my screen because I got it right here. Wanted it. So I have the exact 3 images of this scene here. So in every universe is different. Each one just a fraction unique. And then you go to this image here. Thus, the Infinity Stones are unique. And then Gamora confirms that her Infinity Stone Crusher was designed to destroy the stones on her world. So they pretty much confirmed the stones are unique to their respective universe. They're not just unique to any universe.
I think I gotta go back and watch it because I don't. So all right. So side note. I don't know if I can just go with the pictures. And like I agree with the third picture. I agree with the third picture.
Did you watch Loki? Because even Loki confirms it. Once the stones are taken out of their universe, it was pretty much useless in the TVA.
What is it? Is it out of the universe, or is it that particular, or is it being in the Timekeeper's realm or whatever? Is that what does it, or is it just being out of the universe?
Well,
They never explained that part.
yeah. Well, Loki, they didn't explain it, but they kind of hinted towards how it is in the comics. You know, they don't.
Right.
Once you get the universe, it don't work. So Loki established it, but we couldn't fully confirm that was true because it said only in the TVA it doesn't work. So it's like, okay, only in TVA it doesn't work. But then, what if officially confirms that these stones only work in their respective universe because they're unique to that universe? And Gamora confirmed it when she said her Infinity Stone Crusher only works on her stones because it was made in her universe for her stones. So it was just weird to me that Ultron stones can work in 20 different universes, but all of a sudden, Gamora's Infinity Stone Crusher is not allowed to work on different stones from different universes. That was my issues with how they write this out. Was like, that's very convenient. It's like, oh, that's convenient. Cool.
I'll go back and check it out, and like I said, I could be wrong. I could have been watching it too late and not picked up everything.
Hey, and look, hey, I can be wrong because at the end of the day, the MCU could retcon this again.
Right.
It sounds like there was a retcon in Avengers Endgame. They would go to the quantum realm and they get stones from other places so that they can use the stones to bring everyone back. So I consider going into the quantum realm and entering in a new place. I consider that a new universe. So
that's how it's being too. That was weird. You know, it's
the quantum realm by Dr. Henry Pym and Ant-Man establishes the quantum realm as its own universe.
So when you leave and you travel through the quantum realm to another point in time in your history, it's your history, but it's a different universe.
That
in my head. In my head,
you're traveling through another universe to get through time.
And that's why Endgame doesn't work either, because they was getting stones from different universes. But I still like the movie, but
I still like the movie.
The stones.
Not watching What If.
Watch it, Killmonger. Watch it.
I would recommend
peer pressure.
I would recommend watching What if you don't take it seriously, because you can't take it seriously.
Right.
There are so many mistakes. There are so many ridiculous. And I'm not talking about just the Thor episode. I'm talking about every episode except number 6 with Doctor Strange. Every other episode, I'll give a quick example. In the first episode, we have Agent Carter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where she becomes Captain America. I thought what they were going to do was they were going to actually have it that Steve Rogers never got picked to be part of the super soldier program, and somehow Agent Carter was going to be the one chosen. She's the one that earned it. Well, in the show, in the episode, you know how she becomes Captain America? Because she was the closest one to the machine when everything blew up. That's how she became Captain America. Because she was if another soldier was closer, he would have been Captain America. So it's like, well, how am I supposed to take you seriously?
Well, I mean, but almost every story has a convenient spot like that.
No, but the whole show is full of that. the whole show, because he's going, we have to do it now. And I'm going, no, you don't. Get that one thing of serum, save it, make 1,000 copies of it, and then rebuild the laboratory. You literally had Captain Carter sacrifice that one last vial in a machine, and everything's exploding and on fire. How did you know it was going to work? What would have worked would have been save the vial, make 1,000 copies, then do the experiment over again.
Can you make? If you could make 1,000 copies, would there have only been one vial in the first place?
No, the reason there was the one vial is because that was all that was left after the explosion, right?
Yeah, it sounds like stuff I have no.
As long as you watch the show like it's a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Like this guy says, Party Thor was the best Thor.
Oh, it was. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Surtur is hitting on the Statue of Liberty.
Like
it was an absolute joke episode.
To be honest, that's the only episode where I was like, I could have done without it. Like I literally liked all the episodes except for the Party Thor. I don't know.
Party Thor was misogynistic. This guy's not wrong.
Oh, never mind. Party Thor had more Howard the Duck than anybody. I take it back. Party Thor was a great episode.
What's your face, Mary's Howard the Duck? I mean, come on. It was stupid. It was a joke. I mean, who's taking this seriously?
Does this happen? Does they ask Carol to smile more?
I don't remember that.
No.
I don't remember Thor.
I know Thor calls her a party pooper a couple of times, but I don't know if anybody asked. I don't know if they did the smile more thing.
Funny though. 27 is how does Loki know what a jet ski is? I'm talking about the TVA. I should have been asking.
He asks.
Yeah,
he
but
doesn't know what a jet ski is.
He knows.
Yeah, because isn't he watching the jet ski thing with Miss Minutes and like the beginning of episode 2 or 3? He's looking at like vacation stuff or whatever. Isn't that where he learns it, kind of? I think.
All right. My answer was going to be.
He learned it after what's his name? Not Mobius. Was it Mobius?
Mobius says it.
Yeah, Mobius says because he goes, I like jet skis. And then he goes, why? And then he explains.
That's what I mean. When he asks him why, it's not what is a jet ski. And I'm telling you, it's got to do.
Okay.
He's a frost giant with origins of a frost giant. And he's done his trips down to Midgard to be prankful and stuff. Something drew him to the colder climate places. So he would be amongst the snow and the mountains. So he's seen a jet ski here or there. He doesn't even know it.
He doesn't know that.
No, but inherently, that's what he does. He's going to be drawn to that because it's instinctual. It's something that's in his DNA as a frost giant.
Yeah, but how often has he visited Midgard?
Enough time to know what a jet ski is.
He was DB Cooper.
Yeah.
He's
right. I don't know how anybody can take any MCU TV show seriously.
I don't technically.
That's right. That's right, AMBW, because the show doesn't care. That's right. The show doesn't care. Thank you. That's my answer. AMBW hit it right on the head.
Darcy and Howard got married.
Yeah. Darcy and Howard got married. Come on.
Yes.
We're supposed to take that seriously. Yes, she did.
Hey, the redhead in the Howard the Duck movie liked Howard too. Howard has it. Howard has it all. I cannot remember the girl's name in Howard the Duck too. I mean Howard the Duck, but she liked Howard. Howard has those pheromones or something. I don't know.
Number 28. Do agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actors think that their show was canon?
Oh,
no.
yeah.
They know the truth by now. Chloe Bennett.
You mean originally?
Now, today.
Oh, no. I think originally they did, but I don't think now they did.
Yep. As we talked about earlier, with Marvel Entertainment was one faction with the TV shows. Marvel Studios became another, like in 2015 is when they split. I think that's when they had to, maybe they still held on to hope. But when Phase 4 was being announced at Comic-Con, and there was still an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., season to come. There was still some stuff, and he puts up the phase, and it's like, WandaVision is coming, and all these shows will be integral, and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't spoken of once, and that's probably when they go, all right, well, at least it's a good show, it doesn't have to be canon. They all know the truth.
I think it was because of that one girl who ended up becoming an Inhuman. And the idea was, were they going to spin off on that into the MCU? And then when they didn't, that's when they had to make the S.H.I.E.L.D. non-canon. Because the idea was to have it, I think the idea was to have it canon, and that's why she was an Inhuman, so that they could introduce the Inhumans since they couldn't do mutants yet. But then once they decided not to incorporate it, that's when they had to, I think that's when they were forced to go, no, now we can't make it canon because we introduced the Inhumans.
Chloe Wong, known professionally as Chloe Bennett. I heard she changed her name.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she wanted to be more accepted or something.
Oh, okay.
We just
really? No, go back to that one. Ramon Antonio Geraldo Estevez, known professionally as Martin Sheen. Wow. Okay.
How do you even say that one?
Brianna Sid. Oh, I can't even do that one.
Yeah.
Now I know why she changed it to Brie Larson.
They must realize by now it's not canon. Yep. I would agree. We're nearing the end. Question 29 is, would Peter be disqualified from the team? The scholastic kind of, the smart people team. What's it called?
The debate team?
No, it wasn't debating. It was like a trivia thing.
Oh, the science.
Yeah, the science thing. So would he be disqualified if the school knew he was enhanced by a radioactive spider?
No, because they'd be experimenting on him.
What? How could he have time to be on the team? He would be being in a lab.
He'd be in a lab, so it's like the fact he wouldn't be disqualified, he wouldn't be allowed because he'd be under.
The real answer is we'll find out in December.
Yeah, right. Wait, wasn't there a scene where he was in school in the trailer?
Yes, yeah. He at least I saw at least one hallway scene, and then when he's running through, looks like a cafeteria. I don't know where that is, but it might have been in the school. I don't know.
In the black suit,
right?
I remember that. K-Dot.
Well, spiders don't have super enhanced intelligence. If he's part of a sports team, like a football team or whatever, yeah, he'd be disqualified. But no.
The schools in the MCU should know about superheroes by now.
Performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, but do you go, okay, well, getting radioactive bitten by a spider, it'll only give you the proportional strength of a spider. Even they know that, they just know that.
We don't know what side effects there are. You have to do the testing to prove that he doesn't have enhanced, mental ability.
Nah, try explaining that to the concerned parent from the other team who are like, they have this.
I was about to say, here's my real answer. High school sports, depending on who the high school is, they may try to cover this up for this recruit they have to make their school better. They may cover it up, and you may never. The other team may never find out.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking, yes, he was bitten by a radioactive spider, but has he been vaccinated?
I don't know. He's too young. Don't you have to be? Oh, you can be above 12, actually. Yeah.
You can be above 12.
Yeah.
They would be more concerned whether he was vaccinated or not, as opposed to whether he was bitten by a radioactive spider.
That sounds like the world we're in. Question number 30 has a video. It is, does Tony know the kid was Peter back in Iron Man 2? I hope you guys all remember the scene. Yeah. If you don't, here's a reminder.
Nice work, kid.
Turns out that was actually Peter Parker back in the day.
Right, right.
Does Tony know that? It was a 5-year blip. You think he didn't have to, figure that out in between? I think he knows.
Even though
No,
it was
because it was-
retcon, even though it
That was
was
the only.
retcon,
That was his only interaction with the kid. It's not like he went and visited him again.
Yeah. Nah, he didn't know, and Peter
I
probably
think-
didn't tell him.
During the blip, you guys remember how Aunt May and Happy were together, right?
Mhm.
Well, he probably went to Aunt May and said, I have something to tell you. And she probably was then like, while we're here, you actually met him. It was the best day of his life. He had this little mask on, and she probably told him, if she didn't tell him then, the day that they met, he meets Aunt May before he meets Peter. So maybe she tells him about it then too. I don't know.
Well, wouldn't that have been? But if we're gonna accept that, wouldn't that have been something Peter Parker would have told Tony Stark with that absolute joy? It's like, oh my God, I met you when I was like 7. Remember that scene?
Okay, when they were in the limousine, he could have told her.
Yeah, he would have. Like if
And I think even the MCU probably forgot they even set that up
Right.
because that's a retcon. That's not true because they didn't know they didn't have own Spider-Man at the time. So why would they even set that up if they knew they didn't have Spider-Man at the time? I don't think they factored in that they knew they retconned it, but they probably was like, "Dude, we don't really care much. Let's just tell the fans that that's Peter Parker."
Is that why? Without setting the Spider-Man fans off, is that why Tony is so attached to Peter?
Yes. You see,
Like he has an emotional attachment to Peter, whereas he likes the other heroes, but he has a real emotional attachment to Peter.
He grew to have one because his initial aspect with Peter was he was using him. He was
Right.
using him for a purpose, and then you could see that he kind of grew into liking him. I don't think he liked him originally. I don't think
Talk on it, Tony.
It was just a means to an end.
He was something in the way.
No, that's what Cap was.
Everyone answered. Question number 31. What are your hype levels for Eternals? We are 2 weeks. Oh, wait, 1 week away now, aren't we?
Right. It's next Friday or Thursday,
Ooh,
whenever movies come out.
5 days from now, the Eternals will be hitting the public. Are you guys hyped for it? My hype level for this movie is at a, especially because I'm not going to go see it in theaters. It's about a 5, which is great news because it doesn't take much to impress me. I'm interested. I'm not hyped.
So for all of you who want to date him, Killmonger, just realize it doesn't take much to impress him.
I would never date a girl off of YouTube. I've seen too much destruction, come from that. I would never, what's the word? Entertain it. If I know you're a YouTube personality, like how long have we been on YouTube, guys? Like how many of those? Yeah, right.
It doesn't work for everybody. I would just say that much.
Oh yeah, I'm saying that's the wrong person.
But it's fun while it lasts.
Yeah, but that's saying it just doesn't work for everybody. Just like how you don't see a lot of celebrities together dating for a while. When they date somebody who is not very much a celebrity, they'll be around longer. Like Ice Cube is still with his the chick he been with since before he got famous. I think he's still with her.
Really? Wow.
Well, because side note, I don't know how two extremely busy people like have a productive family life. It looks really hard to me. I'd want if I was busy and rich and had all these commitments, I'd want a regular person to A, anchor me, and to B, when I come home, somebody's there. Like if I come home on Tuesday, I want my wife to be flying out as I'm coming home because we're both busy.
The only couple who
I didn't mean to, go off the rails. I was just making a joke.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Let's get back to the hype level.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
5 for me, TJ.
Back on the rails, I am because I'm always this way. I'm at like at least a 7.5, 8. Because like Chillmonger, I'm easy to satisfy. I'm easygoing, and it's something new. Even if Rotten Tomatoes
Tomatoes.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm from Alabama. Hey, but Rotten Tomatoes gave my movie Gridiron Gang a 41. So we're still above that.
This guy said Wonder Woman got 88%.
Yeah, but it's
And-
1984, so I'm surprised it got that high.
Damn. Eternals is 60% Rotten Tomatoes out. Why do we value Rotten Tomatoes anymore? Remember when Rise of Skywalker came out and it was stuck at an 86% audience
I'll
score,
tell you what.
and it stayed that way, and it never, buffered at all. It was always 86%. Come on, guys.
Wait, do we trust the audience score more or the Rotten Tomatoes critic score more?
I don't trust any of them because clearly the audience score is fudged, but the critics are people who are who are not influenced. What's the word? They're motivated by Disney and everyone to give positive reviews.
Well, Disney need to be doing more motivating because they're not
Yeah,
they're,
that's
they're-
why this score is important, Killmonger. This was a score. The reason this score is significant is because it was expected that it was going to be an 80 or an 85, if not a 90, but it got a 59 or a 60 from the people who are almost handpicked by Disney to actually see and review this, and they only gave it a 59. Everybody's talking about how woke it is because it's got a gay couple in it. Well, one of the major complaints is that the reviewers for Rotten Tomatoes lap up the LGBT, the woke aspect. So even with the woke aspect, it still only has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, that's
So-
weird.
so the couple of reviews I've seen is that they try to marry a more art type film that the director wants with action that you're going to get with the MCU, and maybe it didn't marry as well. But I can live with that. If they tried, everybody complains about the MCU formula, and they try to go off formula and they get a bad score. I can live with them trying something different, even if it's not perfect. I still want to see it. I still want to see what they say, and even if the movie's not great, what is the movie saying for the future of the MCU and what they want to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
He got real life to attend to. So the next question. Oh, let me address the hype level thing. Okay. The shills who give reviews and stuff are shills. They're
Right.
they're motivated by that. So you can't give any credit to that at all.
There-
You should stop
there's-
being run.
Go ahead, because I had something funny to say, but I
low.
want you to get your good point out before I say something corny.
I was gonna make a corny joke too. I was gonna say rotten tomato, whatever you call it. I don't trust it. So I was gonna joke about that. And in comes Jamie.
I wanted to use the word shillmonger just because we're here. They're shillmongers.
Yeah. There
It's
we
the
go.
fact that they're shillmongers that surprised me that it's still so low.
Let's go over to this man from the AMBW channel who's buffering. Actually, he's buffering for me. Is he buffering for you guys?
Yeah, he's buffering for me.
Yes.
Well, too bad, so sad. Number 32. Have you learned a lesson watching a Marvel film? I feel like the Winter Soldier, the whole everyone spying on you, kind of made me go, not paranoid, because paranoid sounds like it's ridiculous, but a healthy level of skepticism to the things that we do with our technology. And I've learned a lot of lessons from Marvel movies, but that's probably the biggest one about tech. The algorithms, all your SAT scores, your credit card information, all that stuff. Yeah, that one changed to me.
You
I
didn't get
think-
that from real life?
I think the only one, probably be Winter Soldier, because just like you said, detecting, like, we have to question this stuff, even though, it's making life easier, but we got to call it out and question it. Because when Cap called out Nick Fury for what they was doing with the helicarriers and stuff, he's like, I think you're going to be taking away people's freedoms and stuff, doing something like this. And Nick Fury was something like, but we're trying to protect them though. But you still have to respect people's privacy and their freedoms at the end of the day. So, you know, probably only Winter Soldier.
Age of Ultron. When Tony goes behind everybody's back, they're supposed to trust him, and creates Ultron basically, and creates this big problem that becomes a bigger problem down the MCU line. I don't know if he learned about trust, but I do think that it said a lot about trust, and you know who's on your team and what are they doing and are they accountable and things. I like that as a lesson.
Okay.
And also who to look out for.
But why you only giving Tony a hard time? Banner was part of that mission also.
Banner was a good scientist that was tricked by an evil.
He was coerced. Because even Banner was giving Tony pushback, and he kind of got talked into it with the suit of armor around the world speech.
Yeah, if peer pressure victims are still victims.
All right. Tony Stark, all him.
Yeah,
Jaded fanboy, you ever learn a lesson?
From the MCU, no.
He learned not to take the MCU seriously.
The closest lesson I learned from the MCU is how quickly people can suddenly become comic book fanboys.
Yup.
As long as it's popular, oh my God, I'm suddenly a comic book fanboy because it's popular to be one.
I'm definitely not a comic book fan, Bill, because I have the ability to criticize, as evident by the 33rd question. And that 33rd question, wait, let me not do this. Thanks everyone for joining. We're at the last question. I am Chillmonger. That's Flash by Night. His YouTube channel is Jaded Fanboy, and that's ssjk.sanctum. Thanks for joining us. This is the 33rd question. It's been a nice, fun stream, and it is Jaded. Is there a villain problem
in the MCU?
Yeah.
In what respects?
In any way you want to answer this question, do they have a villain problem? There have been 25 films. Is there a problem?
Yes.
How? Okay, no, I'd love to hear other people's opinions before I can think about like, Kato, why do you think there's a problem?
Let me ask you, who's the best villains of the MCU? Who's the
Thanos, Killmonger.
I don't even consider Thanos a good villain.
Whoa.
Thanos is a plot point.
Out of all the villains, who's the best ones? So out of all the villains, who's the best ones? The top 5. Give me a top 5.
Well, the top 2 stick out. It's Thanos and Killmonger. I want to give Loki some love because he was so menacing early on. So I'll say what Loki was.
I think that
Vulture.
I think the best villain for me, to make that clear, was Ultron, because he was the one that was best established, best created, had an actual motivation that wasn't pulled out of their butt. Okay, I want to kill half the universe because what reasons? Ultron was that. I think Ultron was one of their best villains because it was the one best thought out, best. Well, Hela was good too, but Hela was a little overpowered though. I don't think they have a villain problem at all. Like I really don't.
Well, I'll say this. There's the difference between the I noticed with the MCU and I have to bring DC. This is the thing I noticed. In a lot of DC movies, their villains kind of overshadow the film, which is, where you take is bad or good, it's up to you. But in the MCU, the heroes overshadow the villains in a lot of these films. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that. But when you walk away from movies like Incredible Hulk, Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man 1, Thor 2, those villains, like a lot of these villains are just like, all right, we just need to get straight to the point. A lot of them just feel like more filler villains with filler motivation and stuff.
Well, they were filler.
Like the villain from Incredible Hulk. What was his motivation? We saw Hulk
domination.
Green. He just wants power.
Yeah.
Like there's only a small amount of villains with actually standout motivations and things they want to accomplish that stand out from the rest that are better. A lot of villains in the MCU, and I get it, it's a lot of them, but a lot of them are just like, meh. Even the first villain, Iron Man 1, Obadiah Stane, he's not bad, but it's like, Me. Because Tony Stark was so good in the movie that the villain was okay, but he was good enough.
So then, is it a villain problem if the villains don't need to be more than good enough?
I think it's more of a problem with the villain motivations and how they're just. I don't think with the amount of movies with the amount of content they got over 23 different forms of MCU content now. A lot of villains are not going to be as great as you think they would because you have so much. It's like you can put out. I'll give you an example. A music artist could probably have their first album come out, and every song on the album is like boom, it's a banger.
Wow.
Like each song you see on there, it's a 10-song album, amazing. But they're going to release some albums later where you're going to be like, I only like 3 songs on this album. Next, yeah, you're going to get to that point to where like only this very small amount is going to be like good for you, because everything else I'm like, just the same. So I think the MCU just has a problem with how their villains' motivations are. They're just very bland. But the ones that stand out, Killmonger, Thanos, Loki, before the Ragnarok happened, great. They're good. I mean, better than most of what we got. I'd throw Ultron in there too. Even though you throw Ultron in there, he wasn't my favorite villain, but you throw Ultron in there. But
I just feel like there's such a gap between the first 3 who are Loki, Killmonger, and Thanos, and then when we get to the next level, it's not that much.
Yeah, it's not even comparable when you compare them to the rest of the villains throughout the MCU that we got. You get Killmonger, Thanos, and Loki. Put them in a room with the rest, and like they just go back at it like easy.
I like Jude Law's performance.
I would have liked Jude Law, but at that ending when they made him look so whack. Come on, Carol, hit me. You show me your power. Show me. And then she just one-shots him.
Because when someone evil is in front of you telling you what to do, you don't forget that they're evil and you show them and put them in their place because you are operating on your time. Never conform to another person, especially your oppressor.
Captain Marvel has poisoned this man. This is no longer Killmonger. This is
Carolmonger.
Marvelmonger.
Carolmonger.
Carol has poisoned this man, put propaganda inside of him, and now he is spreading propaganda. Typical.
Yeah, that's K-Dot's job. Come on.
Propaganda.
Yeah, I spread DC propaganda, which is
K-Dot spreads DC propaganda.
So we call it.
It's not propaganda. It's facts. TJ. Is there a villain problem in the MCU?
If I had to point out a villain problem,
you took a deep breath, like the answer is going to be yes, but you want to like warm me up to it. I can't take it, so it needs to be fragile.
You gotta thoroughly explain it, though. I feel like you want to make sure as he has a good explanation.
I think my only villain problem in the MCU is also maybe my villain problem in Marvel Comics, which is we have a tendency to make the villains palatable and give them good motivations and good backgrounds, and by the end of the movies or by the end of some stories, they're no longer the villains, and that's my issue. Is that like take Killmonger, great villain, but Killmonger throughout the movie is giving you reasons to say, well, maybe he has a point. Like you might not want to slaughter people, but he has a point. And they've had Thanos. I think Thanos has had points as the villain. Like if we get rid of half the universe, half the life in the universe, they'll get back to where they are eventually. But in the meantime, the universe has time to replenish and things like that. I think they're actually giving, motivation-wise, giving some of the villains too good of a reason to be villains, and
that's a bad thing.
I don't know, because
Flash, is your problem that you don't want these sympathetic villains?
They're not sympathetic.
I won't say I don't want any sympathetic villains, but I don't need every other villain to be sympathetic.
Okay.
I want at least some of them to either be plain crazy or be hateful or want power or whatever. I don't need all of them to, find out. Well, this villain was a nice little child growing up, and then
But I
some
don't feel
other
like
person.
Killmonger wasn't that case. I don't
No,
feel
yeah,
like towards the ending he wanted to be buried in the ocean. What a nice, decent man. I still saw.
What
saw
about
him
the
as
dude from Iron Man 3? You know,
I thought they all had point. I thought they all had a point as opposed to being sympathetic. Like Whiplash was never
Okay.
sympathetic, but Whiplash had a point.
his dad.
Killmonger was never sympathetic, but Killmonger had a point.
Yeah, his dad.
and see,
Yeah.
and I'm Jade. I'm glad you're up. Like Whiplash, good motivations of why he's doing what he's doing, but the performance was bad.
Oh, I agree.
But see, that's the thing too. Like even these characters' performances ruin their motivations. Like him trying to deliver his lines. My bud, I want my bud.
Oh yeah,
Well,
they were overdoing it. They were overacting.
Not even
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Whiplash's motivation was different to me than Killmonger's motivation, though.
Yeah.
Aside from wanting to spread weapons around the world and wanting to murder who knows how many people, he wasn't telling a whole lot of lies leading up to that.
Yeah. Well, and when also
Yes.
we have to remember Killmonger has two different motivations. One of them is like shows up later, but he had one main motivation in that movie, an eye for an eye. One of them took my father, so I'm gonna take one of them. That was the main motivation, and then honestly, the second part where he wants to put weapons around the world and stuff, I was like, all right, now we just need to extend the movie. But really, his big motivation was eye for an eye. I need to. He knows Tachaka's dead, but he knows Tachaka's dead, and for him to find some happiness, he's gonna take T'Challa away from the father.
And Uncle James.
I didn't think an eye for an eye was his point.
It was totally his point, and that's why
No,
Zuri stopped the fight.
It was the trigger, but his motivation was to go. We live in the he goes to T'Challa and everyone. He goes, we live in the most wealthiest nation in the world, while all our brothers and sisters are suffering and poor and everything, and we can help them.
But there's two speeches that K-Dot's referencing. That's one of them. That was the first point. The other point was, I've killed in Afghanistan, Iraq, and
Iraq.
He's telling,
he was like, I trained for this moment because he knew that was his big moment, his big thing that would been on his mind.
To be able to beat T'Challa, though.
He had to getting revenge for his father was his biggest motivation first.
No, his revenge
after that was on his mind the most. Getting revenge.
But his revenge was for Tachaka. So T'Challa is just basically sloppy seconds.
Yep.
Right.
But with Tachaka. So his main motivation wasn't to kill T'Challa. His main motivation was wanting to kill Tachaka.
And Zuri. And young Uncle James at the time, which he did do in the battle. So he did.
He
wanted to kill as many people as he can that wronged the family when he got James. But even though he couldn't get the father, he knew, okay, I'm gonna take the son away. So
yeah, but that's just like
I don't know. I would work more if Tachaka was alive. If Tachaka was alive, then maybe it would impact more. Like I'm gonna make you suffer, so I'm gonna take your son. Just how you took my father. But I felt that, because his main motivation was to get revenge on those who killed his father.
Okay.
And he couldn't get Tachaka, so I'm going to get T'Challa.
Here's a question. And I know I know he used the Mandarin's name, but I forget his name. The character over AIM in Iron Man 3.
Oh, Aldrich Killian.
Is he outside of using the Mandarin name, is he a good villain?
No. His motivations. Well, let's remember, he was a guy that got shot. His eyes knocked down by Tony Stark. His motivation was like, meh. But I can see why he would be mad. But I'm like, I didn't care about his motivations because I'm like, okay, yeah, Tony Stark shot down your idea and he made fun of you, but there's no reason to kill all these people and stuff.
Weak motivation.
Yeah. I mean, if Tony would have just merged with AIM originally when he pitched it to Pepper, he would have been all right. But you made him go all the way around the world because Pepper said no.
His biggest issue was Tony left him on that roof and didn't come out because Tony said,
"No, he set up a meeting and he didn't show up."
Right.
Killian chose to go on the edge of the roof,
and he almost jumped, if I remember right. Yeah. Wasn't he going to jump?
And then it was at that moment that I learned that I could do it on my own. Blah blah blah. And I was like, whatever.
It was the best thing that happened to him.
Yeah, it was the best thing that happened to him,
and not a good villain.
At the end, he tries to tell us, "I'm the Mandarin." Like, no, you're not. Shut up. The Mandarin doesn't glow red. Get out of here. The Mandarin.
And then what did they say? Ben Kingsley was the Mandarin.
Wait. Let me ask this.
Yes.
If we didn't get trolled by the whole Mandarin thing, there was actually Ben Kingsley. Would you guys be okay with Ben Kingsley being the actual Mandarin? If they didn't troll us and tell us that he was a fake one, would you be okay with it?
Yes.
No, because it wouldn't have worked.
Okay. I like the acting and I like the videos and everything. It was kind of freaky.
Well, let's go based off performance, Jaded. Would you have liked him as a character? If he had the 10 rings with him and that actor with the performance,
if you had
be okay with
you had Ben Kingsley playing Wang Wu, no, I wouldn't have preferred it.
Was that what you're asking? If he was Wenwu, the dad of Shang-Chi?
No. If he was the Mandarin, the Mandarin himself. I'm talking to the Wenwu. Because they even twisted the lore with the Mandarin in Shang-Chi. Like, he's not the father of Shang-Chi, and he's not. His 10 rings are not those wrist thingies either. So they already changed a lot.
I agree, but that's their prerogative. But I'm saying Ben Kingsley pretending to be a fake Mandarin without Killian, I don't think still would have worked.
No, I think he's saying if Ben Kingsley was playing the Mandarin straight up in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, if the
terrorist that you saw in Iron Man 3 went straight forward as that character, would you have liked it?
No plot twist.
What they did with Ben Kingsley, what they did with what's his character's name?
Trevor.
What they did with Trevor, it was so off the rails and it was so unexpected that it was like, okay, that was absolutely brilliant.
All right, so I'm not the only one.
The fact that he was an actor pretending to be the Mandarin and he's this drugged up idiot who has no idea what he's doing, I went, that was
an idiot.
Yeah.
That was just brilliant. I did not see that coming. There was no hint of that, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I don't like Trevor's character, but the idea of what they did, because I was so mad that I was like, well, they're not actually having the Mandarin. This idea was so brilliant that it made up for the fact that it wasn't really the Mandarin.
Hey, and Chillmonger, I agree with La Yu. The best Mandarin that we seen was in that Iron Man Armored Adventures TV show. That was the best Mandarin we got.
Okay.
Badass. Have you seen Armored Adventures?
No.
Check it out. It's pretty good. It's a weird different take. It's basically Gotham, but Tony Stark.
Oh God.
But it's still a good show.
I'll pull it up next.
I'd say it's a little bit. I'd fathom it more than Gotham.
I'll check out that episode on my Disney Plus subscription next time I'm subscribed, which will be like November 24th because that's when Hawkeye starts. I have been Chill, YouTube channel with like 1,030 subscribers. This is Flash by Night. He's also got a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to Flash by Night, everybody. How many subs are you at? 300-400?
280-ish.
I thought you were at 3. You'll get there, especially after this plug.
All right.
Fanboy, you can subscribe to his channel as well. How many subs are you at?
Oddly enough, I actually have over 100 subs. How I have over 100 subs is still beyond my understanding.
Because we got more fanboys out, jaded fanboys than you would expect. And then SSJK.Sanctum. What's your sub count?
Currently 2,200 and something. I forgot, but nah, I'm up there.
He's double this channel. You know, we thank him for his, gracing his presence here. And no, but honestly, I do thank you for retweeting, because that's, it does help bring people here. I don't mean that as a joke. So thank you for that, K. This has been 33 Burning MCU Questions, and we're out.